It's a race for the NCAA tournament with just 4 games left in the season as an intrastate rivalry gets ready to unfold. The 17-12-3 UMass Minimum welcome the 15-12-3 UMass Lowell Riverhawks here in Amherst, Massachusetts. Good evening, everyone. John Ruggiero, my name is Jacob Repper. It's great to have you with us. But right now, John, these are two teams that couldn't be any more different in terms of where they're going in the NCAA tournament. UMass trying to rise up. UMass Lowell been struggling as of late. They've been falling down, lost 4 of their last 5. What do you expect to see from the compete level between both these two teams?
Jacob, it does not get any more desperate than it does right now at the end of the season. The Riverhawks are trending downwards, UMass trending upwards. They have won the majority of their last couple of games. The Minutemen have obviously a tough series against UNH, splitting the series down against the Wildcats, but it could not get any more desperate than this last 2 weekends of the season, Jacob.
Tell me a little bit about that UNH game, because you called both games. We went up to New Hampshire. What did we see from UMass in that?
Well, in the third period of the first game, it was a colossal collapse by their Minutemen. They allowed 3 goals in the third period from a last place in the Hockey East Wildcats team. That can't happen against a team like Lowell, for example, who is they're better than the Wildcats. We'll say it pretty simply for you. And of course, in the second game, the Minutemen pretty handily got the 3 Hockey East points here at the Mullen Center.
All right, let's get into this UMass Lowell team. This is a team that started out off the season quite hot. They got into the top 16 NCAA rankings. Like I mentioned before, starting to waver a little bit. They're ranked 16th in the NCAA, 14th in the pairwise. That cutoff, though, is going to be right around 13-14 for the automatic bid. What can we expect against this UMass Lowell team that has been just so present in this rivalry between UMass the past couple of years?
Well, it's always a very even matchup between these two teams, Jacob. I mean, last season, UMass was able to get overtime wins in both games. We're going to leave it here for the national anthem.
Zeke, cut this out. We're going to leave it for the national. The national anthem just played, and we were set. We're going to send it on down to Karen Snow. She's got a little update for us for the rankings.
With a win tonight, UMass would rise to the 11th in the pairwise rankings. Carville said, quote,
sorry about that.
Playoff game for UMass. But with the loss, they would would earn a bye to the quarterfinals, but the game would be on the road. The Minutemen are looking for some home ice advantage heading into the playoffs, as there are only 4 games left. Back to you guys in the booth.
Thanks a lot, Karen. We appreciate that. Sorry about the technical difficulties. A little bit of connectivity issues here in the Mullen Center. On a Thursday night game, don't see a lot of these, but nevertheless, John, let's dive right into it. What are you expecting out of these two teams? A rivalry, nonetheless.
Well, I mentioned just before the national anthem, Jacob, it's a very even matchup between these two teams. Last time around, Ryan Ufko scored 2 overtime goals in both games between these two teams. That just goes to show how even this matchup is in the Kennedy Cup. Obviously, Lowell having a better season than last year, so expect a tougher matchup today.
Series history, 50, 38, and 9. That in favor of UMass Lowell. UMass going from left to right here in the Mullen Center in Amherst, Massachusetts on 91.1 WMUA Amherst. UMass Lowell going from right to left in their away blue jerseys, red and white trim. UMass in their classic home white jerseys, maroon trim, maroon helmets, white socks, maroon and gray trim. Both teams are ready. UMass Lowell is ready. The officials are ready. The fans are ready. And let's do it here in Amherst, Massachusetts. Top lines on for the Minutemen: Jack Musa, Lucas Mercury, Cole O'Hara. On defense, Lucas Olmstead, Owen Murray. And, of course, in goal, their stellar goaltender in Michael Robel, who's posted a 2.45 goals against average, a .925 save percentage this season. Let's do it. Puck drop, and we are underway here in the Mullen Center. UMass gains opening possession. Owen Murray turns it over for a moment below the goal line, but it's scooped up now by UMass Lowell as they look to start the attack for the first time tonight. Just over 15 seconds here into this game in the Mullen Center. Puck winds into the far corner. Lucas Mercury delivers a big hit, a guy we're going to talk about a little bit on how resilient he has been. He has established himself in this game as the most amount of games played as a Minuteman in the Greg Carvel era.
Lucas Mercury, the rock of the first line. Without him, guys like Cole O'Hara, Jack Musa don't have as good of a season as they're having. He's not talked about much, but Lucas Mercury, without him, the Minutemen are frankly nothing.
Top lines on for UMass Lowell: Dylan Bentley centering Jacob McDonald and Lemore Nemec. And on defense, Pearson Brandon and Nick Anderson. And in goal, number 30 for UMass Lowell, Benny Halas. Here's UMass in the offensive zone. Here's an opportunity out in front. Saved by Halas. A chance on the near side. UMass jamming at it. A couple players scurry loose. And finally, it's sealed off by Halas.
Yeah, quick chance out front there. And Ben Halas, he has not started as many games as Henry Welsh. Henry Welsh is the graduate student, but it looks like these two goalies have split time throughout this season. The Hungary native and Lowell doesn't always play their hand before the game with who they're going to start in goal. It's always a little bit of a surprise. Halas gets the start tonight. Expect Welch on Saturday.
I was a little surprised. I looked down. I thought it was him. It was number 30 in net. As here's a shot glove save by Halas, his second save of the night. But Henry Welsh, like you talked about, 6'2". He's a grad student, and he's been their guy. It's been a 50-50 start. Henry Welsh has only started one other game. He has a 2.42. But Halas, who's starting in net tonight, a .911 save percentage and a .249 goals against average. Face off on the far side of Halas. UMass bringing out their second line at Donzel Schmelis, Daniel Yenchko, and Idar Suniev. They pass it around to the near side along the half wall for Larry Keenan, a freshman defenseman who has been phenomenal, and especially in the time on ice category. Almost 30 minutes last game against UNH. Here's a shot from Keenan. That one gets blocked down by one of their three captains in Pearson Brandon. Keenan takes a big hit, puck spilling along the near goal line, and it is sealed off on the near post, again, by Halas.
A little bit of zone time here for the Minutemen. You want to get a good start against a team like Lowell. Obviously, coming into this one, Lowell, they're number 16 in the poll rankings. UMass number 17, and I believe the Minutemen are 12th in pairwise, and Lowell not far behind as well. Very even matchup.
Face off to the left of Benny Halas. UMass brings out their third line in Kenny Connors, Ryan Laudenbach, and Cam O'Neill. O'Neill, a guy that broke his wrist earlier on in the season, has come back, slotted, and shifted between third and fourth lines. But starting to play well with Kenny Connors. Here's Lyndon Alger, the captain, back for it, below his own goal line, passes it to Kennedy O'Connor, and Connor takes a hit, and the door swung open there, so we'll have a whistle just 2 minutes into the first here.
Yeah, you got to keep those doors closed along the far corner there. Couple quick whistles, not even 2 minutes into this one.
But, John, these are two teams that they play very physical. UMass Lowell doesn't have a player above 20 points. They're a very defensive style of team. And Kennedy O'Connor gave a hit there. Expect him to be one of those guys to throw the body around. UMass wins it in their own defensive zone. They'll flip this one all the way down. We have had a plethora of whistles so far to start this game, over 2 minutes and 6 seconds in. No real consistency on both teams.
Jacob, I was going to ask you about that last week against UNH. What do you do as a hockey player on the ice when there's just not much happening? How do you ignite the crowd?
Well, it all just starts with a forecheck. That's where you really see things improve on the offensive and defensive side of the puck. And just to get a crowd into it, not a full crowd here as we may have seen in previous weeks, being that it is a Thursday game, but a crowd nonetheless. And, John, this is a critical game for UMass. As UMass Lowell has it in their offensive zone, Lyndon Alger, the captain, takes it away. He tries to ladle it across for Cam O'Neill. Big hit there by Ryan Lonback on his defensive blue line. Disrupts the puck for a moment as Lowell will slap it in by Owen Cole.
I'm surprised you didn't mention a big hit to get both teams into the game. Ryan Lautenbeck does just that, an open ice hit, and obviously that draws a jeer from the crowd, and both teams on their toes after that.
Nick Anderson gets it in his own far circle, passes it to the near side for Mirko Batanozzi. He shoots it off the end boards, caroms wide, and it's scooped up now by UMass's fourth line. James Dewar, Nick Van Tassel, and Bo Cosman on the ice. UMass Lowell gets their paws on it, and they'll skate through the neutral zone. Here's Pearson Brandon, tries to shovel it to the middle, taken away by James Dewar. Here's a 2-on-2 for UMass. Dewar tries a long shot. That gets blocked down by Dylan Bentley. And UMass Lowell's there to flip it out, but it's kept in by Lyndon Alger. Alger will wind it around. Owen Murray, the junior defenseman, will come chasing in. Murray takes a hit, and UMass will have to collect in their own neutral zone.
Bentley reeling after that block shot. Jacob, sorry to cut you off there. He is in some serious pain, was barely able to get to the bench. He is doubled over right now.
And we'll have our wireless reporters keep an eye on that one. Just over 3 minutes in here in the Mullen Center, UMass versus UMass Lowell, men's ice hockey. UMass brings out their top line. They'll pass it back up top to the point, but the Denver transfer, Lucas Olvestad, can't keep it in. The puck goes sliding all the way down. Olvestad will play it in the far corner for Larry Keenan. He tries to jam it forward. Lucas Mercury, the big bull, comes over the top line center to disrupt things, but UMass Lowell will shoot it right back in. Both teams will go for a partial change. Larry Keenan, the Detroit Red Wings prospect, will stand behind Michael Robel and look to start out. Keenan passes it to the near side for Mercury, shovels it ahead for Jack Musa. Musa on the backhand, driving wide, try to center it out in front. UMass Lowell banks it off the end boards, and it's skated away by Ian Carpentier. Carpentier gets upended in the neutral zone. A wild pass from Larry Keenan deflects, and he'll have to grab it in his own defensive zone. Idar Sunyev, crafty pass to Daniel Yanchko, tries a backhand sauce in front for the charging Larry Keenan. Keenan will fence after it, and now the Bruins prospect in Lush Mills will have it. Lush Mills winds it around to the near side. Idar Sunyev along the near half wall. Round it goes to Yanchko, back up top to the charging O'Connor. His shot doesn't get through. UMass still searching for it. Lush Mills fires a shot, but that one hits the outside of the net. Lush Mills getting played on by Daniel Buchenbinder. Now it's Idar Sunyev below the goal line. Passes it back up top. UMass goes D to D. Kennedy O'Connor looking for a shooting lane. Fires that one to the left of the goaltender. Lush Mills tries to keep it in, but UMass Lowell will be able to get it out. Chris Delaney trying to kick that one ahead, but UMass will shoot it in.
Delaney completely fanned on the kicking attempts. Looked like myself trying to play soccer. But some good zone time for the Minutemen there. Exactly what you want to see early in the first.
Chris Delaney, 5'7", a freshman from Hopkins, Massachusetts. Massachusetts gets a shot on goal and another glove save from Benny Halaz. His sixth save of the game, just over 5 minutes and 35 seconds in here in the Mullen Center.
Yeah, that time was Owen Murray with the one-timer. And he took his right-handed shot into the glove of Halaz. He's made a couple big glove saves early in this first period. UMass leading in shots 6-1.
John, that's something that you don't see all the time, is the 50-50 pair in goal. Usually in UMass's case, they have their number one goaltender, Michael Robel, who's played over 30 games, but UMass Lowell splits it up 50-50.
Yeah, they did that. They've done that a couple years now, especially with Welsh.
As that shot is steered aside. Here's Cam O'Neill, rims it around to the near side for the charging Ryan Lonback, but Owen Cole is there to disrupt it for UMass Lowell. They try to break out. Pearson Brandon plays it ahead. Owen Cole skating after it. He's the points leader for UMass Lowell, just 18 points. Conversely, UMass has 7 players over 20. For UMass Lowell, none over 20. The Minutemen gain the offensive zone. Ryan Lonback looks to backhand it in. It gets walled off by TJ Schweigard. He goes D to D, and Ben Meehan will spring it up the ice to Cole. Cole delicately pokes it below the goal line for the Minutemen. Francesco Del Elche is there to scoop it up and move it out. Here comes UMass through the neutral zone. They go driving wide. It's Bo Cosman. Gets run into a little bit by Nick Van Tassel, and a penalty call is in the air.
It's going to be a hold, and it's going to be on Bo Kosman. Not sure about that one, Jake. It looked like he just tried to get around his defender there and must have held the stick or the arm. He'll go to the box for 2 minutes.
John, you can have offensive zone penalties, especially if you're a fourth liner that's not getting a ton of time, and that's just a difficult thing to stomach if you're Coach Carver. We're going to send it on down ringside. Julie's got a report for us.
Like Karen mentioned earlier, time is ticking as playoffs are right around the corner. But one player who knows what it's like to be in the thick of the action is Lucas Olvestad. For those of you who don't know, Olvestad previously played at the University of Denver his freshman and sophomore year, who are the reigning national champs. Olvestad said, "I feel like everyone knows that playoff hockey and regular season hockey are two different things. It's a different game. So just making high percentage plays and playing hard defensive hockey is the #1 thing to stay in the tournament." He said the team needs to be desperate these last 4 games of the regular season to be in a race for a good spot to get into the tournament. One thing that he said has changed his game this season is being consistent and predictable for his teammates to know where he will be on the ice for the plays he is going to make. Back to you guys.
Thanks a lot. That is Julia Williams ringside with Karen Snow and Shannon Clark shadowing her. And this is just a quick reminder to you that this broadcast of UMass Hockey is brought to you by the Mill River Tavern in Hatfield, a neighborhood bar and restaurant situated just on the other side of the Connecticut River, not far from the UMass campus. From signature cocktails to brick oven pizza, this small town tavern offers everything needed for an evening with friends or a sit-down meal with family. The tavern is open Monday through Saturday as late as 9:30. The Mill River Tavern is online at millrivertavern.com, and on Instagram and Facebook, we thank the Mill River Tavern for their support. With that said, face off to the left of Michael Robble. UMass wins it back, and they will go on the penalty kill in this one. The Lowell Riverhawks looking to cash in on the power play just over 6 minutes in here. A UMass Lowell power play that is 21.7%. That's good for 24th in the nation. Here's Chris Delaney, the 5'7" freshman at the Hockey East local, slides it across to the far side for Mirko Buttazzoni. Buttazzoni comes in, takes a shot, goes past the left shoulder of Michael Robble and onto the tape of Delaney. But Cam O'Neill is there to fish it out, and he'll shoot it all the way down. Just over 35 seconds have ticked off on this UMass Lowell power play.
And as for the Bo Kosman penalty, Jacob, you can't do that in the offensive zone. You mentioned it, especially when you have all the momentum early in the first period. Now you give the Riverhawks a chance to get on the board.
The Riverhawks will shoot it in deep. Lyndon Alger's there for UMass. He bats it all the way down, and that will kill off a minute of the UMass Lowell power play. So far, a good start for a UMass PK that has climbed up in the rankings, 85% on the year. That's good for 12th in all of college hockey.
A great weekend last time out against UNH for the penalty kill.
But here's an opportunity out in front. Isaac Johnson comes charging in. Puck up in front of Michael Robble. He takes a massive hit from his own defenseman. The net comes off. Michael Robble's on his right side. It was Lyndon Alger that came crashing into him like a runaway freight train. But Robble looks to be shaking it off.
Man, that was something right there. The Lowell player tried to backhand it middle, a little saucer pass, and Alger, trying to get in front of it, was able to mostly avoid Michael Alger, Michael Alger, that's funny. Lyndon Alger, he was the one that tried to jump out of the way, but he did catch his goalie, but no worse for wear, I suppose.
We'll have to keep an eye on that, especially, John, with concussion protocol. Sometimes UMass's director of hockey operations will look down and take a look at the monitor that they have up here at press row, and they can pull him out of the game to get evaluated. We'll keep an eye on that. He looks to be okay. But nevertheless, 42 seconds left here on this UMass Lowell power play. UMass trying to find a way to kill this one off. Just 8 minutes into the first period here, no score. It's Owen Cole on the face-off for UMass Lowell going up against Dons Lishmillis. Lishmillis, a guy, 6 goals, 20 assists, 26 points in 32 games. Certainly on the uptrend from his freshman year. And Coach Carvel said he's made a lot of improvements. Face off to the left of Robble. To the right of Robble. Both teams fishing for it. It comes out onto the tape of Larry Keenan. He tries to pass it across to Cole O'Hara, but a little bit too far ahead of him. So UMass Lowell will cycle this one around. They try to jam it in on Robble on the near side. He keeps it out, and it's taken away by Dylan Bentley. Passes it back up top to the point for Ben Meehan. Now switches it to the far side. That shot goes over the right shoulder of Robble. So hot that it trickles all the way out, and UMass Lowell will have to regroup. 19 seconds left on their power play.
Dylan Bentley caught a blocked shot earlier in this one. That time just whistled it wide as he's back on the ice.
Here comes Bentley. Drop pass disrupted by Ryan Lundback. He spears it all the way down. 5 seconds left on the power play. One final chance out in front. Cross ice pass. They score! It's Dylan Bentley on the doorsteps. Beats Michael Robel. UMass Lowell up 1-0.
That's all by Owen Cole right there, Jacob. A beautiful saucer pass to Jaak Varwerk right in front of him. Gravel completely selling on the shot, and then Varwerk sends it across to Dylan Bentley in the final seconds of the power play. And just like that, out of nowhere, the Riverhawks go up 1.
John, I looked at the clock. There was just 4 seconds left. All of a sudden, UMass Lowell came surging the other way. You mentioned the 2-on-1. Michael Robel, nothing he can do on that one. But UMass Lowell, it will be credited as a power play goal, and they are up 1-0 here, almost at the halfway mark in the first period. They win the face-off at center ice. They'll flip it in. Both teams will play 5-on-5 now after a costly penalty, offensive zone penalty by Bo Cosman. Jack Robilotti keeps it in for UMass Lowell. Lucas Olvestad looking to saucer it across to the far side for Lucas Mercury. He goes back to the near side for the charging Cole O'Hara. O'Hara, the righty, working against TJ Schweigart. He gets stapled to the boards. Pass it across out in front. It's taken away by Scout Truman. It's a 1-on-2 the other way for Truman. Not a lot of opportunities. He'll saucer it in deep. UMass Lowell will go for a full change. Round it goes to Jack Musa. He gets his pocket pick. UMass Lowell right now, the Riverhawks surging. Here's a chance out in front. Michael Robbo with a great stick to keep it out of his own crease, but UMass unable to get it out for the moment as Mirko Badazzoni comes charging in. Badazzoni gets his pocket picked by Idor Suniev, who comes weaving through the neutral zone. Suniev backhands it to Lushmelis, possible 2-on-1. Suniev can't get a stick on it. A nice crafty pass from Lushmelis. Suniev getting fended off by Owen Cole. Skating up towards the Hockey's logo. Tries a long shot. That one blockered aside and kept out.
That's all started by Idor Suniev picking the pocket of one of the Lowell players, able to chip it middle to Lushmelis, or at least tried to. It was fought off there. Suniev later gets a shot blockered away.
Connor Eddy passes it back up top to Swigard. His shot goes off the end boards, comes back up top to the point. UMass Lowell cycling the puck very well here. Here's Ben Meehan. Spins it around below the goal line, looking for Dylan Bentley, who had the power play goal just a few moments ago. The Minuteman able to transition up the ice. Here's Don Lushmelis. Lushmelis along the near wing, tries to center down front. Nice move by Kenny Connors for a moment. Excuse me, that was Del Elche, but he couldn't center it back towards the middle for the trailer. And right the other way come the Riverhawks. UMass trying to get back defensively. Michael Robel steers that aside. It's picked up by Cam O'Neill. He's got his head up looking for some room. And O'Neill will brush it forward for the Minutemen. UMass Lowell will flip it back, and UMass will transition up the ice.
You know, that one rush there, Jacob. Suniev headed to the bench. That allowed Lushmelis to go ahead with it.
It's taken away by Jacob McDonald along the near circle. He passes it back up top to Daniel Bookbinder. Back down low it goes for McDonald, trying to pass it back up top to the point for Isaac Johnson. He does, who slams it back down low. UMass doing a good job keeping them to the outside, and it's taken away by Kenny Connors. Here's Connors. Drop pass for Ryan Lundback. Stutter step along the far side. He makes a man fall to his feet, and the one-time shot off the post, and it goes in. Lucas Olvestad, the blast from the point, and UMass gets back on the board. It's 1-1.
Lucas Olvestad, his 4th goal of the season, and just like that one, it was all Riverhawks. A seeing eye shot from the point finds the back of the net past Benny Halaz, and the Minutemen tie the game with 8:31 to go in the first.
John, that started from nothing. They got it to Olvestad, who was wide open. That shot maybe 45 feet out. Clanks it off the post, and a massive goal for the Minutemen. With 8:30 left here in the first period, they tie it up.
How about Ryan Lautenbach, Jacob? Making a couple men miss, couple deking moves, simply passes it up to Olvestad, who fires it home.
Olvestad, his 4th goal of the season, and a massive one to tie this one up in Amherst. Puck trickles down on goal for Halaz. He has to come out, ladles it across to the far side. A possible one-on-one the other way. Michael Robble comes out and plays it. As Stephen Owens goes spilling down. Seen a couple players fall on both sides of the ice here, John. I'm not sure what's going on. But it's picked off now. Here's a chance. That one goes past the near side of Michael Robble. Pinching is TJ Schweigard. Tries to spin it back up top to his defenseman, who's not at the right place at the right time. But UMass Lowell will spin it the other way. Here's Owen Cole searching for the drop pass. Sends it out in front. Guided aside by Michael Robble yet again. Here comes UMass the other way. 2-on-2 through the neutral zone. Puck rattling around a little bit, but it's settled down by Meehan and now taken away by Cole. Cole through the neutral zone. He'll saucer this one into the far corner, and UMass Lowell will go for a full change. Puck in the near corner boards. 2 Minutemen battling against the Riverhawks. Comes out onto the tape of Libor Nemec. He jams it back down low. Here's an opportunity on the doorstep, but Ben Meehan couldn't go skate to stick and get a clean shot. Here's Lucas Olvestad. Scored a goal just a few moments ago to make this 1-1 with 7 minutes left here in the first period. Glove down by Halaz. Big hit in front of the UMass Lowell bench. That's Kennedy O'Connor. His second hit of the game. He has been hitting anything that moves, John.
I mean, alongside Lyndon Alger.
And here's a chance, John, for Idar Sunyev charging in, making a couple men miss. And that's a guy that got injured a handful of games ago against Merrimack, was out a few games, came back against Boston College and had 2 goals up in Durham. I believe it was Durham,
yes,
New Hampshire.
Last weekend.
Puck goes all the way down below the goal line. That'll be an icing on the Minutemen.
I was going to say that pair of Lyndon Alger and Kennedy O'Connor, Jacob, they are going to throw the body around. And I was rudely interrupted by Sunyev going ahead with that one. He got hit down. And just all sorts of physical happenings all over the place early in this one.
And I will say this about Sunyev, John, is he was one of just a few players to stick around an hour after practice during this week's player media, working on a shot, working on one-timers. Says he feels 90 to 100%, not fully certain and comfortable on the ice as this one goes for another UMass icing. But he's starting to get his footing back. You're not going to jump back into it and be fully healthy, but we've seen his production start to ramp up. His minutes are probably going to increase, and they're going to need him, John.
They sure are. I mean, he came back against the Boston College for that series, was held off the board in those 2 games, but then against UNH put up 2 goals in that first game, and just like that, he's back and better than ever, but he did say to us after the game, still not 100%.
UMass Lowell in their offensive zone. They cycle it around to Ben Meehan along the near side. His low shot banks off the end boards and caroms onto the tape of TJ Schweigard. He rattles it back down low for Lee Parks. Parks along the far half wall. Gets his pocket picked for a moment by Lyndon Alger, and UMass will go back and transition in their own zone. Kennedy O'Connor saucers it across to Daniel Yenchko. He can't play it up the ice. Ben Meehan will spank it back in, and Michael Robble will leave it for Lyndon Alger. Here's Kenny Connors, avoids a big hit, loses the puck in the process. But we've seen some poor transitions on both teams, just 5:20 left here in the first period.
And that's just all Connor Eddy right there, Jacob. Of course, he missed the open ice hit that he was going for on Connors, but disrupted him just enough to spin him around to get the puck off of him.
Kenny Connors in the neutral zone. Delicate drop pass for Ryan Lonback. Tries to give and go to himself, but turns it over in the process. But his buddy Larry Keenan is there for the moment as it goes back into the O-zone for the Minutemen, but back into the neutral zone and now into the O-zone as Larry Keenan ladles it in. UMass goes for a full change.
Keenan was disrupted on that entry there once again by Connor Eddy. He was hit down from behind. Keenan was, and Eddy showing the physical presence.
Here's Eddy. Makes a hit on Ryan Lonback. That might have been a payback hit from that first hit of the game that you talked about, John. Just a few minutes in. This one's gloved down by Owen Murray, looking to turn up the ice. Here's Murray. A lot of open ice in front of him. On his backhand along the far side, puts the brakes on and wraps this one back down low. Charging in is Jack Musa. He can't get there in time. This one's kept in by Lucas Olvestad momentarily, but UMass Lowell is able to slide it out, but UMass will shoot it back in.
I'd like to see Owen Murray maybe try to cut middle there and go for a shot. Obviously wildly outmanned, but he tried to set up, didn't really work out for him.
Here comes Dylan Bentley, score the opening goal. Bentley trying to weave to the inside. A great defensive play from Lucas Mercury as he reverses course to Lucas Olvestad. Olvestad banks it off his own end, boards through the far side. UMass with some open ice. Here comes the nation's co-leader in points in Cole O'Hara, 45 on the year and on a 10-game goal streak. If he registers a point in this one, he'll tie the record for most points per game streak with 11. And that's dating back to 2002-2003, John.
It just goes to show how on fire he has been. And you looked between these two teams. What did you say the most points was, Jacob? I believe it was 18 for any Lowell player. That's the most on their team. For UMass is 45. That just goes to show how much offense the Minutemen are getting out of Cole O'Hara.
That's more than double if I can do math, as we have a whistle here.
Offsides.
There was an offside. Francesco Del Elche can't keep it in. So we're going to send it on down to Karen Snow. She's got another ringside report for us.
Thanks, guys. He is also in a 10-game score streak. If he scores tonight, he will not only lead the nation in goals, but he'll tie the record of longest point streaks of 11, setting back to 2003 and 2004. O'Hara was named Player of the Week this week by Hockey East, which is his second time this year. Definitely well-deserved after his performance against UNH this past weekend and this whole season. Let's see if he can make it 11. Back to you.
Thanks a lot, Karen. We appreciate that. Great work down there as always. John, 3:13 left here in the first period. I don't think people realize how important this series is, because if UMass wins, they will bump themselves up in Hockey East, but also pairwise rankings. They'll almost climb inside the top 10. I believe if they get a regulation win and nothing funky happens otherwise, they'll be right around 11. What are the implications for that for the outright bid to the NCAA tournament?
Well, Jacob, we're looking at 3 auto bids from conference winners: Atlantic, CCHA, and ECAC. I believe Quinnipiac is now into the top 14, but even then, it's 3 teams that are, or potentially 2 that are going to steal spots from the top 16. So the more further in you are to the top 16, it's really the top 14 or 13 at this point you have to be in. You want to be away from that 10, 9, you're pretty safe.
Our officials for tonight, Jim Curtin and Casey Terreri, and our linesmen Kevin Berganti and Nicholas Berganti, 2 familiar faces to those Hockey East viewers. Puck in the neutral zone. UMass Lowell will send this one in. Michael Robel out of his own cage to play to Larry Keenan. Keenan on his forehand on the far side, coming out of his own zone, dodges a hit and rams that one in deep. Halaz out to play it. Polk along the near half wall. Back up top to Keenan. He can't get good wood on it, and it's taken away by the Riverhawks. Up the other way comes Scout Truman. Truman gains the O-zone, but not before one of his players goes offsides. A costly offsides for UMass Lowell.
Nearly a costly turnover by Larry Keenan there, Jacob. I mean, you said it, he didn't get good wood on it, but that's not a place you can do it right there at the point. I mean, just completely fanned on the puck. That allowed Lowell to go ahead with it, and obviously a little bit too overzealous for the Riverhawks going off sides.
Face off in the neutral zone to the left of the UMass Lowell bench. UMass will send out their third line of Kenny Connors, Ryan Lonback, and Cam O'Neill. And John, if you think back just a few games ago, Kenny Connors had a 6-game goal streak, and he set a program record in that regard. UMass will wind it in deep. Halaz out to play it. Here's an open net for UMass Lowell. Lundenbach tries to center it out in front, but UMass Lowell bats it away. It's kept in at the blue line, by Lucas Olvestad. Now into the near corner boards. Cam O'Neill along the half wall tries to make a man miss. Gets it to Kenny Connors, who gets checked along the near glass. But back up top it goes to Owen Murray. Owen Murray, long try out in front into the chest of Halaz. Well, that could have been a disaster if you're the Riverhawks. But nevertheless, we have immediate timeout, but we'll keep it here. This is a reminder that this broadcast
of UMass Hockey is brought to you by the Mill River Tavern in Hatfield, Jacob, a neighborhood bar and restaurant situated just on the other side of the Connecticut River, not far from UMass. From signature cocktails to brick oven pizza, this small town tavern offers everything needed for an evening with friends or a sit-down meal with the family. The tavern is open Monday through Saturday as late as 9:30. The Mill River Tavern is online at millrivertavern.com and on Instagram and Facebook. We thank the Mill River Tavern for their kind support.
Thanks for stepping in there for me, John. I
course.
appreciate it. 2:06 left here in the first period. We're going to keep it here. It's immediate timeout. Actually, we're going to send it on down to our ringside reporters. They're going to take it away. It's Julia Williams.
Thank you, guys. Daniel Zhenko, who is only a freshman but plays a pivotal role on being on the Euro line with Lashmelis and Suniev. Suniev back, who's coming off of an injury, is huge for Yenchko. It's really good, and it's a privilege that I can play with him on a line. We just try to work together and make plays and help the team to win. As we talked to Yenchko earlier in the week, he seemed frustrated after missing an open net goal opportunity against UNH and not scoring in 10 games. Yenchko, Lashmelis, and Suniev have all formed a tight connection, but Yenchko said it starts with practice and trying to get better every day as a line. They train together even if it's shooting pucks or staying later after practice. And we saw this earlier in the week as Yenchko and Suniev were the very last two to get off the ice. Already tonight, this line has produced several offensive opportunities and scoring chances, and let's see if they can keep.
Here's a chance out in front. Lucas Mercury tries to find Owen Murray charging in on the one-time try. Thank you, Julia. We appreciate that. 1:50 left here in the first period. UMass threatening, looking for that second goal. They'll play it across to the far side. Touch pass to the middle for the oncoming Lucas Mercury. He'll ladle this one to the near corner boards. He's steaming in with a lot of speed. Mercury throws a big hit. Chasing after it is Cole O'Hara. He tries to tie up Connor Eddy. A couple players hung up there, and I believe Lucas Mercury goes down, and that is going to be a penalty on the Riverhawks.
Yeah, TJ Swihart, cross-check from behind. Mercury goes down just like that. The Minutemen to the power play.
So a massive opportunity for UMass with 1:26 left. Lucas Mercury, one of the bigger players on this team, 6'3". It's hard to bring him down, John. He plays with spirit. He plays a lot of games. He's only missed one in his UMass career, which just speaks for itself. Coach Carvel talked about how instrumental he is in lecturing other players, and we've certainly seen his impact felt here for the Minutemen over the years.
Sure have. Draws the penalty right there, and he gets time on the power play because of it. The senior forward, he's the assistant captain for a reason. A huge impact for the Minutemen.
Gets time on the power play in his 141st game for UMass. 1:15 left here in the first period. UMass 5-on-4 power play. They'll pass it to the far side for Cole O'Hara now. Near try for Kenny Connors. His shot is steered aside by Halas. UMass still has the puck, however. It's Kenny Connors at the Hockey East logo. Got his head up. Passes it to the near side for Suniev. Suniev looking for a shooting lane. Cross-ice chance for O'Hara on the doorstep, but he can't get that one to slit into the top shelf.
That was a pretty wide open net right there, Jacob. Suniev had Halas down and out across to O'Hara, just missed.
Kenny Connors dangling in, but he turns that over on the cross-ice try. UMass Lowell will shoot it all the way down. 40 seconds left in the first period. 1:15 left on the Riverhawks penalty kill.
That's uncharacteristic for the Hobie nominee, Jacob. Would have been the 30th goal of his career.
UMass through the neutral zone. It's Cole O'Hara working 1-on-3. He'll peel back up top to the point, passes it to Kenny Connors. UMass with 5 forwards on the ice, a patented look that they've been doing pretty much all season. Here's Suniev circling around. Gets his pocket picked for a moment, goes back down low for Cole O'Hara. O'Hara gets thumped off the puck, and it's taken away by Eddy for a moment. He evades a hit, and here's a 2-on-1 the other way for the Riverhawks. Now Ben Meehan, near circle try, penned away by Robble. A massive save with 3 seconds left here in the first period, and that is going to do it. We will go to break 1-1. UMass will have 34 seconds left on the power play, but John, that is possibly a game-saving save.
Well, that's the dangers of playing 5 forwards on the power play, Jacob. Eddy was trying to get down that far side right there. Kenny Connors was at the point. He sold out for the hit, completely missed, and that allowed a 2-on-1 out the ice with Jack Musa trying to get back as quickly as he could. He didn't do much. Crabble keeps it a tied game.
We are going to send it to break. We'll be back in right around 13 minutes, but before that, you're going to listen to our guy in the studio, Zeke Altman, along with a couple of buddies of his. You're not going to want to miss his show. We're going to step aside, and we'll let them take it away on 91.1 WMUA. Welcome back live from the Mullen Center alongside John Ruggiero. My name is Jacob Repper. You just heard from Zeke Altman and company in the studio. We appreciate them, as always, engineering this game. But right now, John, 25 seconds left till puck drop of period 2. A 34-second power play for UMass.
Yeah, Jacob. I mean, not much going on in the first couple minutes they had to end the second period on the power play. But you saw Lowell get a power play goal with how many seconds left? 1 or 2, 3?
Max.
Exactly. So, UMass, 34 seconds. That's plenty of time to establish yourself in the offensive zone and get the puck moving, get a couple shots on goal. Got to do that before Schweihart is out of the box.
1-1, UMass going right to left, UMass Lowell left to right. Both teams are ready. 20 minutes are set on the clock. 34 on the UMass power play. And let's do it here at the Mullen Center. UMass with their 5 forwards on still before. Like you remarked about, John, that could have been perilous for them, but they were able to avert a catastrophe. UMass Lowell wins the opening faceoff, sends it all the way down. That kills off 15 seconds. Just 20 seconds left here on the Minutemen power play. Here's Jack Musa in his own end, leading Idar Sunyev perfectly. Sunyev driving wide on the forehand, banks it off the end boards, and round it goes. UMass will slap it around. Lucas Mercury skating after it. Lowell is there, and they'll shoot it all the way down. 5 seconds left on the power play for the Minutemen. That's about going to do it. No shots here in the second period, and not much zone time.
Yeah, I mean, you lose the opening draw, and then finally get the puck in, and it comes right back out. I mean, not much time to establish yourself, obviously, on the power play, but nothing happening.
UMass Lowell will shoot it down. It'll be a foot race, but Owen Murray, the junior defenseman, also a journalism major, wins the face-off. Had a couple classes with him last semester.
Yeah, he's a fun guy. He keeps to himself a little bit. He's quiet. He always looks like he's in the zone and ready to get out there on the ice, I'd say.
Yeah, well, we had a class with him the day after that Denver game. Do you remember that?
I think so.
He was talking to him a little bit. That was the one that went, would that go 3 overtimes?
Two.
And he was saying how exhausted everyone, specifically Michael Robley, said the lactic acid started building up in his legs.
Oh, wow.
But with that said, UMass playing in this game to get back to that point. They have it in their own neutral zone. Over 1 minute and 10 seconds in here in the second period. UMass 1, UMass Lowell 1 here at the Mullen Center. Here's Scout Truman, the long stretch pass up the near side as he was looking for Lee Parks. But that puck parked itself below the goal line and without Lee in the area, so it'll be an icing.
Kind of similar to the first period. Not much happening early on in the second period. An icing or two. UMass not doing anything on their power play. They still lead in shots by 5, 13-8. And a jolt has to happen sooner or later.
Face off to the left of Benny Halaz. UMass with their 4th line out. It's James Dewar, Nick Van Tassel, and Bo Cosman. Puck in UMass's own zone along the near half wall. Nick Van Tassel getting spun around looking for it. It's kept in by TJ Schweigart as he riddles it in deep. Del Elche searching for it. Puck caroms around to the near side. Lee Parks is there. He gets a little help from Ian Carpentier, but UMass will shoot it off the glass and transition up the ice. Here's James Dewar through the neutral zone. He goes on the forehand, and a great defensive play from Ian Carpentier to strip him free. It's taken away now up the far side by Bo Cosman. He'll shimmy it in deep and park himself right back onto the bench as UMass goes for a full change. They'll bring out their top line of Lucas Mercury, Cole O'Hara, and Jack Musa. Puck below the goal line for the Minutemen. And a costly turnover from Kennedy O'Connor. Here's a chance on the doorstep. The backhand try from, I believe that was Chris Delaney. It's hard to see out there. Just 5'7", wearing number 10. Here's Bentley. Has the lone goal of the game for the Riverhawks. Jams it in deep. UMass trying to transition up the ice, but not before Bentley can get his paws on it. Now it's finally skated out by Cole O'Hara as he passes it to the near side for Jack Musa. Tries to flip it ahead for Lucas Mercury, but it'll be whistled down for an offsides with 17-13 left here in the second period.
That was a late offsides call there, Jacob. Linesman took a second to make the call, but alas, it is offsides. It would be a neutral zone face-off not even 3 minutes in. Whistle after whistle after whistle.
Face off in the neutral zone to the left of the UMass Lowell bench. UMass with their second line of Donzel Shamilis, Idor Suniev, and Daniel Yenchko on the ice. And John, this is also an important game because if Coach Carvel wins this game, it will make him the winningest coach in program history. It will be his 167th victory. Here's a chance out in front. The shot from Yenchko deflects off a Riverhawk kneecap. But UMass trying to cycle it around. John, we'll touch on that point in just a minute. Now it's taken away, but UMass gets it right back. Yenchko fishing for it. Into the far corner it goes. Round up top to the point. Daniel Yenchko in the far corner getting worked on by Nick Anderson. Tries to get it back up top as Lashmills takes a big hit, but Lowell will bank it off UMass's own boards. And the Minutemen will shoot it all the way down. That will be good for an icing.
Yeah, Coach Carmel recently celebrated his 250th win. Of course, a couple of those wins, more than a couple, coming with St. Lawrence, his alma mater, and 167 on the cusp of for Carvel would be, of course, a program record. In his 9 seasons here, he means so much to this program.
And that 250 is of his assistant wins as well from previous programs that you mentioned. Here's a chance for Lowell. They keep it in. That puck deflects up and into the netting. So it'll be a face-off to the left of Michael Robble. Zeke, you didn't need to send it there. Puck in the neutral zone. UMass Lowell fishing for it. The Riverhawks, they try to spear it ahead. It's scooped up by Larry Keenan. His pass gets intercepted as the Riverhawks look to turn the pace of play. Just 4 minutes in here in the second period. Cam O'Neill tries to get it in deep. UMass Lowell will go D to D. 1-1 here in the Mullen Center alongside John Ruggiero. I'm Jacob Repper. We appreciate you tuning in to 91.1 WMUA. Here's Kenny Connors in the neutral zone. Headmans it to Ryan Lundback, who's looking for a cross-ice pass, but it hits a Lowell stick. And UMass will shoot it back in. Both teams will go for a full change. Puck along the far side. UMass stacking bodies in the neutral zone. Big hit from Kennedy O'Connor, his 4th of the night, as Lyndon Alger chases Lee Parks around. Parks tries to reverse it to the far side. Alger has Lucas Mercury in his right pocket, along with Scout Truman. Puck suspended in a couple of skates, and finally it pops out to the near half wall. Kennedy O'Connor gives a hit, fighting against Isaac Johnson. Now Parks. Parks trying to peel off of Lyndon Alger. Alger doing a good job keeping him to the outside. Puck goes back up top to Johnson. Now Scout Truman. UMass Lowell can't find any good passing or shooting lanes. Here's a chance to the right of Robble, but UMass keeps them to the outside. Cole O'Hara along the far side. Some nifty moves from him as he looks to spark the offense. Here's Mercury. Tries to jam it out in front for the charging O'Hara. He takes a big hit below the end boards. Over 6 minutes in here in the second period. UMass Lowell 1-1 hockey game. Owen Murray passes it now to Idor Suniev in his own zone. Now through the neutral zone. Now through the O zone. Here's Suniev on the forehand. Tries to send it across to the far side, but Daniel Yenchko isn't there. And UMass turns it over. We've seen that a couple of times from Suniev. When he goes wrong, it's usually with that.
And just tried to spin it on a no-look to someone who, as you said, Jacob, was not there. And it's not going to work for him.
Taken away by the Riverhawks now as they come charging in. Michael Robble stands tall to his post. Donzel Schmill is fishing for it. But Jack Varwerk has it now. Backhands it across to Anderson. Near circle try. Goes past the left glove of Michael Robble, and all the way around it goes. UMass breathes a sigh of relief as they try to get a partial change. But it's been Lowell puck all of this second period here. Here they come charging in. Puck up for grabs for Varwork. Gets pushed off by Olvestad. They try to center it out in front for Delaney, but it's kept in by Schweigar. Long shot doesn't get through. Rebound attempt blocked away by Robel and scooped up by Van Tassel.
Yak Varwork, the backhand from his knees. Robel stops him.
Here's Van Tassel in with speed. His pass goes off the toe of his stick. He'll have to regroup. Van Tassel, 6'3" from New Jersey. In his second year here at Amherst. UMass Lowell will shoot it in deep. Robel will come out for it. 7 minutes into the second period. Both teams with one. Larry Keenan zigging and zagging behind Michael Robel. Flutters one out to the near side, but into the bench of the Riverhawks.
Under media timeout here, Jacob. And this broadcast of UMass Hockey is brought to you by the Mill River Tavern in Hatfield, a neighborhood bar and restaurant situated just on the other side of the Connecticut River, not far from UMass. From signature cocktails to brick oven pizza, this small town tavern offers everything needed for an evening with friends or a sit-down meal with the family. The tavern is open Monday through Saturday as late as 9:30. The Mill River Tavern is online at millrivertavern.com and on Instagram and Facebook. We thank the Mill River Tavern for their kind support.
With that said, we'll send it on down ringside.
Thanks, guys. UMass was represented very well during the nation's face-off as former player Cale Makar won gold with Canada. Although Makar was out at first with an illness, he returned to the ice against USA in the final, where he had an assist with the 3-2 win against the U.S. Congrats to Makar, continuing to make UMass proud. Back to you guys.
Thanks a lot, Karen. Not very happy about that feature, although it's very good, of course, USA losing. Did you get a chance to watch that championship game, John?
I sure did. An overtime winner by Connor McDavid. I mean, you leave the most dangerous player on the face of the earth right in front of the net, and the United States didn't work out for him, to say the least.
Did not. He beat Hellebuck, who played here actually at UMass Lowell.
Yeah.
Believe it or not. One of a couple of very good goaltenders that UMass Lowell's produced. Tyler Wall, a former Rangers prospect, was in the AHL for a little while. One of a couple of UMass Lowell teams that made a push into the NCAA tournament. They did so in 2022, just 3 years ago. And part of that defensive-minded UMass Lowell team that is always hard to score goals against. As here's a chance, goes past the glove of Michael Robel, off the glass and scooped up by Larry Keenan. Long cross-ice pass to Ryan Lundback, carving his way in. Kenny Connors looking for the trailer to the right of Benazzi. UMass circling and cycling in the offensive zone. Lowell's there for it. They'll try to reverse course. Chasing after it are a couple of Minutemen. UMass Lowell tries to flip it out, but it's kept in surprisingly by Larry Keenan. I thought that was offsides, John, but the linesman will say play on.
And the puck was hit down up in the air. Hard to tell if it was on the blue line or not.
Cross-ice pass now for Lowell. Here's Cole, patted away by Michael Robel. Comes out onto the tape of Ryan Lundback. He can't get it out, but now he will. Collects, tries to send it across for Cam O'Neill. He'll go to the bench as it was intercepted. UMass Lowell comes the other way. They'll flutter it in deep. Francesco Del Elci on it for UMass, a freshman who's probably going to be picked in top 100 in this upcoming 2025 NHL draft. He has been rising up the draft boards. Pass to the near side for Jack Musa through the neutral zone with a lot of speed. Musa on his backhand gets hit and puck pops free. Here comes Lowell, a one-man band the other way. They try to send it down in front for Michael Robel. It's taken away now by Cole O'Hara. O'Hara on his backhand through the neutral zone. He goes, gets a little help from Lucas Mercury, who steers it out in front for Jack Musa. His shot gets blocked down yet again. Not a lot of shots in this one. UMass with just 13, the Riverhawks with just 10.
I don't believe UMass has a shot in this period, Jacob. 9 minutes in. Not what you want to see if you're the Minutemen. Of course, you give up a goal to the Riverhawks to start the game. Of course, Dylan Bentley with the power play goal. An untimely penalty by Bo Kosman. Then you respond with Lucas Olvestad. Game's tied at 1. Have to keep it going.
That shot goes past the left of Michael Robel. Cole O'Hara is there to flip it out, and that puck will dance into the offensive zone for UMass. They'll go for a full change. Back and forth action here, but not a lot of great opportunities. Here's Jack Varwork. Tries to find the trailer in Delaney. Owen Murray's there. Comes back onto the tape of Delaney, but now Lucas Olvestad, he'll shoot it off the glass and out for the moment. Owen Murray steps up. Puck jumps on him a little bit. He'll have to play it off the glass as UMass Lowell is charging in here, but UMass is able to break out. Here's Sunyev, high slot. He gets lit up, and it's taken away now. It's 4 blue the other way, going up against 2 whites. Here's Carpentier. His shot goes off the toe of his stick, but it's scooped up by Lashmilis looking to turn the corner. Lashmilis through the neutral zone, gains the O zone on his forehand. Tries a shot, that one well wide, but he gets his own rebound. Passes it back up top to the point for Kennedy O'Connor. Little stutter step driving to the outside as his shot hits the end boards, and it's poked away by Halaz. UMass Lowell will sling it around. Lyndon Alger, the senior captain, can't keep it in. He'll have to pass it to Kennedy O'Connor, who will shoot it wide, and UMass will go for a partial change.
Ian Carpentier with a good shift right there. He was the one who hit down Idar Sunyev as he tried to shoot it from the top of the slot, and then Carpentier went ahead with it.
Just over the halfway mark here as Nemec tries a sharp angle shot. It hits, I believe, the head of Michael Robble. He makes another save, rebound out in front. Robble on his stomach. Both players and both teams searching for it, and now we have a scrum. Robble with a big save, and Lyndon Alger is mixing it up along the near half wall.
Robble never had that puck, and they blew it dead. He was grasping for it as much as he could. He never had the handle, and of course the extracurriculars as the puck was loose right in front of him.
With that said, we're going to set it on down to Julia Williams rinkside as they have a report for us in just a few moments as they get set over there. Take it away,
guys.
Julia.
As Lyndon Alger is ending his 5th season with the Minutemen, he told us he never wants this to end. He said, quote, "This year has been kind of a gift for me, but it's bittersweet. My time here has been unbelievable. I've made so many memories. It's pretty sad and it's coming to an end, but hopefully we can earn a few more games together as a team and enjoy the time together. We can't forget that Lyndon is another player with experience competing for a championship. Lyndon was a sophomore when UMass won the national championship back in 2021. Coming into Lowell, he said, they play a similar style to us. They're a physical, hard team, and we're going to have to get pucks deep and forecheck hard. As so far we've seen today, Lowell is a speedy team, including netting the first goal of the game. We've seen this season how well Lyndon's partnership with Kennedy O'Connor has been. Lyndon said their connection has definitely grown by hanging out away from the rink and constantly communicating, which has been a huge factor for their success. One of the things I was most interested in was he mentioned that recently they've been into cooking, and specifically cooking steak. They have a steak night once a week and try to perfect their steaks. I thought that was funny, and honestly, I might need to get that recipe. Back to you guys.
Thanks a lot, Julia. We appreciate that. We'll do our best to find out about that. John, I know you're a big steak guy.
I am. I love a good New York strip. Do you have a favorite steak?
I like them all.
Oh.
I do. I don't discriminate. I like all steaks. I like all meats. And you could throw a lot of different foods on my plate. I'll wolf it down. UMass Lowell wins the face-off. That shot goes about 7 feet over the head of the 6'8" Michael Robble. Here's Owen Cole. Tries to shimmy it out in front from below the goal line, but it's skated away now by Cam O'Neill. Here's O'Neill through the neutral zone. Puck deflects off the edge of his stick. He gets it along the near half wall and tries to rim it around to the far side for Kenny Connors. Connors with a nice defensive play. Here's a chance on the doorstep, but the shot goes wide of the net.
One back to O'Neill right there, right in front, the one-timer. And O'Neill just a little bit too close to the goalie there.
Puck trickles down below the UMass goal line. 8:40 left here in the second period. UMass with one. UMass Lowell with one as well. Long stretch pass intercepted. Some sloppy passing from the Minutemen out of their own end. Owen Murray headmans it to Jack Musa. Drop pass gets disrupted again. UMass getting a little too cute and a little too fancy as Lowell comes the other way. They gain the offensive zone for the Riverhawks. Lucas Mercury trying to defend. It's Stefan Owens peeling back up top to the point. He's getting worked on by Dill Elche, who slips his way back down low. Long try on the far side, doesn't get through. Cole O'Hara's there for it, and his saucer pass is going to be intercepted in neutral zone yet again. Michael Robble comes out to play it. He'll rim it around to the far side for Cole O'Hara, who will get a take two of what he did just a few moments ago. O'Hara trying to get the offensive zone, goes to his backhand, but this UMass Lowell defense stacking players at the blue line, and UMass will have to regroup with 7:43 left here in the second. O'Hara will send it in deep. He'll go for a full change. Lucas Mercury still on the ice as Lowell looks to stretch the pace of play. Puck slides down below the goal line to the right of Michael Rowell. Kennedy O'Connor takes a big hit as it's taken away now by this fourth line for the Minutemen. Nick Van Tassel searching for the puck, hits the skate of Chris Delaney as he passes it across to the near side. Now UMass Lowell enters the offensive zone. Puck wiggles its way onto the stick of Chris Delaney. Drop pass down low. Good play by Nick Van Tassel. UMass Lowell gets it back up top. Michael Rowell snags it out of thin air. And finally a whistle for the Minutemen.
I think one thing Lowell is doing good here is their forecheck. They're not allowing the Minutemen to get out of their own zone and set up, and now the Riverhawks have tied in shots 13-13. They've created a good amount of turnovers in the Minutemen zone, and conversely, they're having too easy of a time getting out of their own zone. The Riverhawks are. The UMass forecheck needs to be better, and they have to work on their breakouts.
That's for sure, John, especially if they want to get themselves back into this game. The magic number for UMass is 3. I'm not saying they're out of it, but UMass Lowell's a very good defensive team in terms of goals against average. This is exactly where they want to be if you're a Riverhawk fan. Puck in UMass's offensive zone. Long shot goes well wide. The drive from Lucas Olvestad as he looked for the deflection from Yenchko. Scooped up by Leshmilis. He's getting fended off by Dylan Bentley. A couple players scrumming along the far half wall. Saucer pack up top to Owen Murray. Now to the near side for Olvestad. Goes back to Murray, but the pass is on the wrong side of Owen Murray. He'll have to regroup in his own zone.
Just a couple times tonight, a couple of misplays at the blue line for the Minutemen that time. I mean, there's no reason for that puck to have to come out to the neutral zone, and Olvestad and Murray just couldn't connect. And then there you see right there, Leshmilis having a time getting into the Riverhawk zone.
John, I'm not sure if it's because the game is a day before it normally would be, but is it safe to say there's some sloppiness on both sides of the ice?
Definitely. I mean, I think the Riverhawks are playing their game. They're a defensive team. They're a physical team. The Minutemen are definitely making the majority of the mistakes here, but even for the Riverhawks, they haven't played a perfect game either.
UMass with 13 shots. That number has not moved, John, since the last time you brought it up.
It is not.
And UMass Lowell with 13 as well. UMass in the offensive zone. Long shot, I believe, doesn't get through. I think it hit Kenny Connors, but it's kept in by Francesco Del Elche, the freshman defenseman phenom. Here's Ryan Lund back below the goal line, banks it up top to Del Elche. Del Elche, not a lot of room. He'll weave it back down low for the coming Keenan. Keenan has the puck bounce on his stick. Lundback's going to try a long drive. Why not at this point? It doesn't get through. So another opportunity of no chances for UMass as Dylan Bentley's below the goal line.
I mean, at that point, just get a shot on goal. Couple times right there. The puck is around the circles. Get a shot. We're 15 minutes into the second period. 0 shots for the Minutemen.
UMass Lowell will flutter it in deep. Larry Keenan's back for it. He headmans it to Jack Musa. Musa takes a hit along the near half wall, comes out to the stick of Buttazzoni. Pass out in front, that deflects and it goes in. Stephon Owens on the doorstep gets the deflection off of a broken play, and UMass Lowell jumps ahead 2-1 with 4:46 left here in the second.
Jack Robalotti shot that from the point, and Stephon Owens with a tip at the top of the slot, and that's why you just shoot the puck on net. I mean, the Minutemen, they had their first goal just from a shot from the point, and there you see it then. The Riverhawks get a tip past Ravel to go ahead by 1.
So the Minutemen trying to find a way to get something through on goal. UMass Lowell do just that. And it catches Michael Robel sleeping, or maybe not. It looked like it was deflection, John, in the high slot. Would you say that?
Yeah, there's nothing he could have done about that one, Jacob. It was perfectly off of the shaft of Stephen Owens' stick, right past Rabel's shoulder.
And there's a nice hit from Owen Murray. You talked about hitting, possibly getting the crowd into it. Not a massive crowd here on a Thursday night in Amherst, but one that wants to get behind UMass and see them slide and climb their way up into the pairwise rankings. Can't understate or overstate how massive of a series this is. Puck in the near corner. Nick Van Tassel gets plastered along the corner boards. Rounded goes for Kennedy O'Connor. He'll pinch it in deep. O'Connor back traces. Makes a nice hit. Or maybe that was Nick Van Tassel, but UMass can't keep it in. Idar Sunyev charged with the duties of skating it in. Deflects those duties to Lyndon Alger. His shot gets in on goal for the first shot, I believe, of the period. But it's whistled down, and we have a media. That said, this is a reminder that this broadcast of UMass Hockey is brought to you by the Mill River Tavern in Hatfield, a neighborhood bar and restaurant situated just on this other side of the Connecticut River, not far from the UMass campus. From signature cocktails to brick oven pizza, this small-town tavern offers everything needed for an evening with friends or a sit-down meal with family. The Mill River Tavern is open Monday through Saturday as late as 9:30 p.m. The Mill River Tavern is online at millrivertavern.com and on Instagram and Facebook. We thank the Mill River Tavern for their support. We're going to hold it here, John. 3:39 left in the second period. UMass Lowell up 2-1. They've gotten the bounces. UMass certainly has not. In a game that is so important, and in a game that we'll see UMass Lowell on Saturday, they need to have this one.
And they sure do. I mean, if they can't have this one, they're going to have at least a split, right? I mean, I think that's what both teams, at the very least, are vying for, because when you're right around the same rankings in the pairwise, if you split each other, it's not going to do much in terms of damage. So, I mean, Lowell up in this one, still 23 minutes to be played in the game. UMass, by no means, is out of this game, but one shot on goal in the second period is not going to cut it.
The counter argument to that, John, is that this is a home game, and UMass will go to Lowell on Saturday. UNC Altman will have the call on that one. But if you certainly feel like the home games you have to win, especially as far as analytics and RPI goes late in the season here, with after this one just 3 games left. So the faceoff will be to the right of Benny Halaz. Donzlish Mills on the draw for UMass as they bring out their second line with 3:35 left here in the second. Lowell will slide it all the way down the ice. Del Elche chasing after it. He circles around to the near side. And it's taken away by Idar Sunyev. Sunyev gets stood up at center ice, and UMass Lowell comes right into the zone.
I mean, it's just clear that Sunyev and most of the Minutemen are not ready for the Lowell forecheck. Sunyev skated right into Mirko Modazzoni that time. Modazzoni didn't even really lay the body on him, just simple skated into him.
Lush Mills will have a try. Sharp angle shot over the crossbar, and an atrocious shot from Donzlish Mills. It comes all the way down, and now Lowell can set up their forecheck, and they will do. Here's a chance out in front, and Lowell tries to jam it on the near side, the wraparound attempt, but it doesn't go. That was by Lee Parks.
Yeah, Lee Parks tried to send it out front, wouldn't go on the pass, got it back to a stick, tried the wraparound. Minutemen evade a goal for now.
Parks slides it back up top to the point. UMass Lowell goes D to D. Jack Robillati shimmies it in deep, hits behind the cage of Michael Robble with 2:30 left here in the second period. Here's Truman, back up top to Robillati, past the left pad of Michael Robble. Live bounce off the end boards, and it's sealed by Robble by the side of the net. But John, you can't have terrible shots like that. You can't have terrible zone entries, which is what we've seen, to not mince words. But then you have Donzlish Mills, who fires a shot. He's trying to pick Twine there. It goes all the way down, and you mentioned the Lowell forecheck. They were just doing their thing there.
Yeah, I mean, Schmellis cleared it for the Riverhawks, and then Del Elche was simply hit off the puck by Lee Parks, and that allowed a dangerous scoring chance for the Riverhawks. It can't happen.
Face off to the left of Michael Robble. Draw is 50-50 at the moment, but it's taken away by Jack Musa. Musa through the neutral zone, now deflects to Cole O'Hare on his backhand. O'Hare with a little bit of room, he elects to go to Lucas Olvestad. But now we have a whistle here, and it's going to be a penalty.
Yeah, Ben Meehan was all over Cole O'Hare that time, and the captain is going to go to the box for 2 minutes. 2:06 remaining here in the second period, and just like that, the Minutemen given another chance to get back into it. It's going to be 2 minutes for interference, I believe.
I'll call it a lifeline, John, if you will, because this is, you mentioned it, UMass Lowell playing their game defensively, not giving up a lot of shots. They don't put on a lot of goals, like we mentioned in the open. But now this UMass power play, which at one point was #1 in the nation, currently slotted in at 7th. with a 26% success rate, trying to bump that number up. They'll bring out their top 5 forwards. UMass wins it back to Kenny Connors. 2 minutes left here in the second period. UMass 5-on-4. Jack Musa, near side. Touch pass out in front off the crossbar. They wave it off, didn't go through. And Lowell will swat it all the way down. Tic-tac-no.
Wow, that was just perfect from Connors, O'Hara, and then Sunia, the one-timer, rang the crossbar and out.
1:40 left here in the second. Drop pass to Idor Suniev, now starting in on the back end. Forehand shot just barely squeaks past the right post. Benny Halaz got bailed out on that one, as a couple UMass players are sealed to the far corner boards. 1:30 left here in the second. 5-on-4 for the Minutemen, down 2-1 here at the Mullen Center. Kenny Connors now to the far side for Cole O'Hara. Kenny Connors gets it right back at the Hockey East logo, near side. And that shot is saved by Halaz, as we have some extracurriculars once again.
And Buck Binder just took down Lucas Mercury in front of the net. And if you're going to take down a guy like Lucas Mercury, look for him to respond. Of course, he'll head to the bench for now as the second unit comes on, but a great start by that first unit. You got to think something might have been said on the bench right before that power play, because just like that, a flip of the switch, the Minutemen look like them old selves. Look for the second unit to continue the magic.
Second unit sends their lone defenseman on in Dill Elche. They have Ryan Lonback, Donzla Schmillis, Larry Keenan, it's 2 defensemen, and Daniel Yenchko. 1:05 left here in the second. 57 left on the UMass power play. It's Dill Elche. Near circle try for Donzla Schmillis. He'll cycle his way back up top to Dill Elche. Gets it right back. Curling is Schmillis. Can have a good handle on it. And a nice defensive play from Pearson Brandon to keep it out. And now UMass Lowell works 1-on-4 here.
Schmillis just gave it right back to Pearson Brandon there.
It's Pearson Brandon with a great solo effort, and UMass can't even get it out of their own defensive zone with 30 seconds left now in the second. Here's Donzla Schmillis. Drop pass to the far side. Curling is Keenan, and Keenan with an errant pass. No defenseman is there. Dill Elche will have to go back for it. 20 seconds left, 15 on the power play, 2-1 still Lowell.
You think about how well the first unit gelled that time, the first minute of the power play. This second unit, no communication whatsoever.
Donzla Schmillis trying to slip by Jack Robilotti. Passes it back up top to Lonback. 6 seconds left here. Down low it goes. Cross ice pass, one-time tripod save. And that is going to do it. End of 40 minutes of play here in Amherst. The UMass Lowell Riverhawks get the tip by Stephon Owens. And they hold a 2-1 lead here at the Mullen Center.
And a simple shot from the point is the difference here. Nothing Rowell could have done with the tip by Stephon Owens. But the Minutemen's effort in that second period this late in the season against an opponent that is vying for every spot they can get, just like the Minutemen are, it's unacceptable. What was it, 1 shot through about 17 minutes in that second period? You can't have it. And then you're given a gift to go up a man and have a chance to tie the game before the third period. And sure, that first unit and Suniev specifically rang the post. It's got to hurt. But then that second unit just went back to how the Minutemen were playing throughout the whole second period. And now the Minutemen go down 1 with 20 minutes to play. And everything has to change heading into the third.
UMass Lowell searching for a massive win to send themselves up in the pairwise. The Minutemen searching for the same. We're going to send it to Zeke Altman in the studio back in Amherst. And we'll be back on the home fort for Minutemen Sports, 91.1 WMUA. Good evening and welcome back to the Mullins Center. We have a good one, and it's going to be a frenzy of a final 20 minutes of play. The UMass Lowell Riverhawks up 2-1 over the UMass Minutemen. John, we've hashed it out this entire broadcast. This game is paramount to UMass's success, mostly because it is a home game. Who's the guy that you're looking for on the UMass Minutemen to step up, tie this game, and rally the troops?
You know, Jacob, most guys would look towards Cole O'Hara, Idar Suniev especially. Suniev tries to do everything. I'm looking at a guy like Kenny Connors right now, Jacob. I mean, he had a flurry of scoring, 6 goals in 6 games, hasn't scored since that first Boston College game. He needs to get back on the board in a big way. UMass down by 1 in the third. Perfect opportunity.
I like that pick a lot, John. It seems like UMass Lowell's done a phenomenal job of limiting some of UMass's top guys like Suniev, especially through the neutral zone. A guy that's a little slippier, the aforementioned Connors. It should be a good one. UMass left to right, UMass Lowell right to left, and let's do it. Final 20 minutes of play here in Amherst. UMass Lowell up 2-1. The Minutemen, they'll send it in deep, top lines on for the forecheck, and Jack Musa, Lucas Mercury, and Cole O'Hara. Comes back up top of the point, deflection out in front, and it's patted away by Halaz. UMass can't keep it in, so it will trickle out into the neutral zone, but so far, a good first 30 seconds for the Minutemen.
Yeah, quick shot right there. Got to keep it going, though. You can't let Lowell hold you in your own zone here. Get the nice breakout, and it's hard to happen.
Chris Delaney will slap it in, but it'll take it away by Idar Suniev through the Power U logo. Suniev trying to do it all as 4 of his line mates go for a full change. Good effort from Suniev. He gets bumped off the puck, but Lowell will try to flip it out and move it to Owen Cole. Here's Cole on the backhand going up against Del Elche, the freshman. Backhand try out in front, gets guided aside by a great defensive effort from Larry Keenan. UMass will slide it up the near side, and skating after it with a lot of speed is Daniel Yenchko. Yenchko, backhand pass, Suniev over the top of the net. Takes a strange bounce off the glass, so Lowell will try to push it ahead, but that puck will slide all the way down below the goal line for an icing. 1:10 in here. 2 quality opportunities for the Minutemen.
You can just tell Idar Suniev is frustrated, Jabe. Yes, it was a quality opportunity, but he completely missed it. High of the bar. He hit the bar towards the end of that second period. Have to keep your composure if you're any Minuteman, but especially Idar Suniev, who is known to take a penalty when trying to do too much.
19 shots on goal for UMass, 14 for UMass Lowell. 2 power play opportunities for the Minutemen. They've gone 0-4, and UMass Lowell has cashed in on their 1-for-1. Here's Kenny Connors, far half wall, peeling off of Owen Cole. Backhands it back up top to Murray, looking for a shooting lane. That one deflects well wide. Lowell will try to wrap it around out of the zone. It gets walled off by Lucas Olvestad. And a big hit along the near half wall. I believe that was Ryan Lonback on Isaac Johnson. UMass will shimmy it in deep. Around it goes to the far half wall for Connor Eddy. As another big hit from Ryan Lonback, the 5'8" forward is throwing the body around here, the third.
Yes, he should.
UMass tries to find the offensive zone. That puck will slide into the far corner. They'll go for a big change, or a full change, after a big hit from Lautenbach.
Lautenbach gets the juices flowing for his team, and then Carvel sends out that second line once again, but well, that flow will be negated by an icing.
John, what does Coach Carvel say to his troops in that second intermission?
Probably some things we could not repeat here on the air, but it's more simply just you got to put in some effort here, boys. I mean, you can't go through the majority of the second period with 1 shot on goal. Realize the low forecheck, work around it, get into the zone, and pepper Benny Halaz. It's pretty simple.
That's for sure. They're going to have to do that here in regulation because, John, we've seen how important regulation victories are. They almost had it in Durham just a week ago, and here is going to be a power play for UMass Lowell. Exactly what the Minutemen can't do. They did it. An offensive zone penalty, the second one of the night. Benny Halaz will come out of his net to go to the bench. They won't get the extra attacker on. UMass will touch up. Just over 2:15 in as UMass is stacking shifts and good opportunities.
None of it matters, Jacob. If you take a penalty deep in the Lowell zone, Cole O'Hara goes to the box for hooking.
And the tough part about that, John, is O'Hara's a guy that kills penalties as well. A disciplined player nonetheless, and this is also a disciplined UMass team. They are number 1 in the nation in least amount of penalty minutes per game. 7.06 average per game penalty minutes. That's the best in the NCAA. So now UMass Lowell will deploy a power play that is right around a 20% success rate and good for top 25 in the nation. The Riverhawks win it a little bit too good as Jack Musa comes charging after far side. One-time attempt off the left pad of Halaz. So Lowell will regroup in their own end. UMass's penalty killers Owen Murray, Landon Alger, Lucas Mercury, and Jack Musa as Cole O'Hara sits in the box. 1:40 to go on the UMass Lowell power play. It goes back up top to Nemec along the near half wall. He glides back down low, sends it back up top to Chris Delaney, now up top to the point. Delaney gets it back near circle, down low, goal line. One-time try, doesn't get through. A nice defensive play by Owen Murray. Here's Lee Parks, now Delaney. Gliding, looking for a lot of room at the Hockey East logo. Looking for a shooting lane now, and a nice block from Lucas Mercury, who, John, knows a thing or two about doing that.
Yeah, I believe he leads the team in blocks, right around the same as Owen Murray. And it's ruled a hand pass on the Riverhawks. Mercury set a career high for most blocks in one game against UNH in the road game. More than 5.
And we talked about the history he's making tonight, playing in his 141st game as a Minuteman, the most in the Greg Carvel era, and what will be his final go-around in Amherst. 1 minute left on the UMass Lowell power play. The Minutemen searching to kill it off and spur the troops as they find themselves down 2-1 here in Amherst. Jack Varwerk, offensive zone along the far half wall, dinks it back up top to the point for Isaac Johnson. Johnson skating perpendicular to the ice, goes back up top to Ben Meehan. Now Johnson gets it back. They trade spots. Now Meehan. Puck slides off the end of his stick as Donzel Schmelz was chasing after him hastily. Here's a chance. Isaac Johnson goes past the right blocker of Michael Robble. Bentley, saucer pass, almost intercepted by the charging Kenny Connors. But UMass is able to bat it out. 20 seconds left here on the Lowell power play. Bentley gains the offensive zone, curls back up top, now has a little bit of room. He drops it off for Johnson, who slides it across ice to Meehan. Couple Lowell players trade spots. UMass doing a nice job keeping them to the outside. That shot doesn't get through. Johnson tries one off the crossbar and up and into the netting.
Wow. Inches away from getting another last-second power play goal and extending the Lowell lead to 2.
Coach Carvel told us in media earlier this week, John, and he's told a lot of people, I'm sure you've heard it before, but he said, quote, Michael Robble will determine the destiny and fate of the team. That's been true tonight. That's been true for the large majority of this season. We've covered this team over 30 games now. And if UMass wants to get back into this game, he's going to need to make saves like that or get at least helped out by his iron. Face off to the left of Robble. Just 1 second left, and that is going to do it. So UMass kills off the penalty. They go 1 for 2 in that regard as they sling it around to Idar Suniev, who tries to make a move at his own defensive blue line. That puck grazes the glove of Robble as it windmills over his head. Ryan Laudenbach scoops it up in his defensive zone. Headbands it Idar Suniev. Suniev trying to make a move. Feeds it to Lushmills. Now far side try. Yunchko shoots it, and it's gobbled up in the crease as a Minuteman goes down. John, I didn't see what happened. Fans are cheering.
Rob Alati took down Suniev, and he's going to go to the box. Or both. They're sending both, Jacob. And it looked like Suniev seemed to dive. It sure did. I'll have to see a replay, but is it both? I'm not sure. Looked like they were pointing.
The away bench is open. Suniev is kneeled over, clutching something. Can't tell if it's his wrist.
Embellishment.
As you hear the PA announcer, embellishment, the crowd is not happy. You see
Greg
Coach Carvel.
Can't believe it.
See Coach Carvel is pissed. And Coach Carvel, John, he actually told us in media and actually at UNH that UMass is not a team that dives.
I take it back, Jacob. Look at Idar Suniev on the bench, just completely still clutching his lower midsection.
You hear the fans are not happy about that as they are jeering the linesman here and the entire officiating crew.
Carvel's still having a word with one of the referees.
He's irate, John, and this is a guy that is actually commended Hockey East officiating this year. We know they had a run-in last year, and UMass did not get along with them, but he said they've been better, but on this call, just from his reaction, does not look like he agrees with it. So, we'll skate here at the Mullins Center, 4-on-4, a little bit of extra open ice. It's Francesco Del Elche. Slides into the offensive zone, delicately places it down low for Jack Musa, but he can't get any wood on it. UMass Lowell will reverse it, and you hear the crowd not happy about it. Jack Varwork in his own zone, a lot of open ice ahead, 4-on-4 hockey for 135. He'll drop it back off as ref use suck chance break out here at the Mullins Center. Varwork almost gets himself in a little bit of trouble as Cole O'Hare was charging in. UMass Lowell has to get on sides, a possible opportunity if UMass takes advantage of it, but they'll drop it off in their own zone and look to regroup. Here's Del Elche. Drop pass for Dons Lashmills. A lot of room through the neutral zone on his forehand. Stutter step now driving down low the goal line. Head up looking for the trail around front for Cole O'Hara, who's been deadly quiet in this one. Nice play by Del Elche to free it up for Larry Keenan. Backhand try through the skates of Cole O'Hara. But UMass gets the puck right back, and they'll take their time with 50 seconds left here on this 4-on-4. Here's Cole O'Hara. Threading his way through the neutral zone, now the O-zone. That shot hits the stick of Ben Meehan, but goes back onto the tape of Cole O'Hara. Guides it back up top to the point, 4-on-4 hockey, still 35 left in this one. That shot right into the midsection of Ben Meehan, and now Lucas Olvestad going at it with a couple of players inside the crease.
I don't like the shot selection from Cole O'Hara there, Jacob. I mean, we're under media break here, but he had a chance there to cut further inside, get around the defender, right on the right circle, and just elected to shoot it way up top, and obviously didn't work out for him.
Well, we talked about the ramifications and the awards and accolades that could be brought upon Coach Carville if he wins this one. We'll send it on down to Karen Snow. She's got more for us in that regard.
Thanks, guys. Very physical and competitive game so far, as stakes are very high. Tonight is also a pretty big milestone for head coach Greg Carville. He could become UMass's winningest head coach. A win would put him at 167 wins, which would surpass Don Cahoon, who coached UMass from 2000 to 2012. This is a huge milestone tonight, and it could be reached against the Riverhawks. We are currently down 2-1 with 13 minutes left in the period, so let's hope UMass could win their second game in a row for Coach Carville. Back to you guys.
Thanks a lot, Karen. We appreciate it. And this is just your reminder for those of you tuning in on the camera on YouTube, but also those over the radio on 91.1 WMUA Amherst, that this broadcast of UMass Hockey is brought to you by the Mill River Tavern in Hatfield, a neighborhood bar and restaurant situated just on the other side of the Connecticut River, not far from the UMass campus. From signature cocktails to brick oven pizza, this small-town tavern offers everything needed for an evening with friends or a sit-down meal with family. The tavern is open Monday through Saturday as late as 9:30 p.m. The Mill River Tavern is online at millrivertavern.com and on Instagram and Facebook. We thank the Mill River Tavern for their support. So here it is, 13:54 left in the third. UMass still trailing 2-1. Face off to the left. On the near side circle, to the left of Benny Halas. Lucas Mercury gets dished out. In comes Cole O'Hara, 32 seconds left on the 5-on-4. O'Hara, puck up for grabs, but UMass Lowell wins it back. O'Hara tries to steal it, banks it behind the goal. O'Hara and Mercury and company in on that one. Nick Anderson gets spun around like a dreidel, and it comes back up top to Owen Murray. Murray getting pressed along the glass by Pearson Brandon, but UMass Lowell is able to transition up the ice. 5 seconds left on the 4-on-4. They'll pass it across the far side. Long try is scooped up by Michael Robble.
Just not much happening on the 4-on-4. Obviously, mostly Minutemen throughout this third period. Only 3 seconds remain to Sunyev and Jack Rabalotti are out of the box. UMass obviously having a better third period, now up to 22 shots after getting only a couple in the second, none throughout the majority of the second.
Face off to the left of Michael Robble. Like you mentioned, John, just 3 seconds left here on the 4-on-4. Sunyev and Robolati will come out of the box. We'll keep an eye on it and see how Sunyev's holding up after a little bit of a hit and dive, according to the official a few moments ago. Both players out. Long shot from center ice, right into the chest of Benny Halaz. He'll play it. Now it's taken away by Don Leschmilis. Leschmilis getting kept to the outside by Schweigart. His shot doesn't go through, but Halaz comes out of his net. He's able to seal that one off for the whistle.
You said getting kept to the outside, Jacob. I disagree. He had a lane there to cut middle in between the two Riverhawks players as he takes a push from Dylan Bentley for some reason. And he just decided to stay to the outside and then take a low-quality shot from the point. And then, I mean, you get the offensive zone draw, but it could have been a much more dangerous chance for Leschmelis if he had his head up.
This UMass Lowell defense has kept UMass to the outside, but they've given them the inside, like you mentioned, John, but UMass just hasn't capitalized on it. Connor Eddy skates it into the offensive zone for the Riverhawks, tries to turn it back up top to his defenseman, which he does by Ben Meehan. Meehan shimmies it down low below the goal line for Owen Cole, but it's taken away by Daniel Yenchko. He'll shoot it in, round it goes onto the tape of Benny Halaz. Yenchko tries to keep it in along the near half wall. UMass Lowell will saucer it out, and the Minutemen will control that center ice. Here's Owen Murray trying to gain the offensive zone. It's stolen aside by Mirko Buttazzoni. And now Meehan. Meehan trying to headman it up the ice. UMass Lowell will chop it in deep, and Lucas Olvestad will skate back for it behind Michael Robel. John Ruggiero alongside, and I'm Jacob Repper here at the Mullins Center. You're listening to 91.1 WMUA Amherst. We appreciate you tuning in. Over 8 minutes in here. Here's a chance for UMass as that shot goes past the glove. And that was Cam O'Neill on the shot. Comes out top to Owen Murray. A lot of room. Wrist shot gets blocked down and goes in the far corner. UMass is 23 shots on goal, but the past handful haven't made its way through.
Plenty of blocks by the Lowell defenders.
Here comes Cam O'Neill. 1-on-2 along the far side. He's waiting for some reinforcements, but it gets taken away by Chris Delaney. Delaney backhand tried to the near side. Dinks off Ian Carpentier's stick and onto the tape of a couple Minutemen. Here's Lucas Mercury. A lot of room up the ice. Tries to give and go to himself. He's got Jack Musa charging, and that's going to bring up a UMass power play. 9 minutes in here, UMass will get a 2-minute power play. I believe it was interference, John. Is that the correct call?
Roughing. Mercury caught a glove up high on that rush, caught him right in the face, and Pearson Brandon is going to the box. Or Nick Anderson, excuse me. Anderson, he gloved him right in the face. And UMass given another opportunity to tie this game.
They'll bring out their top 5 forwards yet again. It will be 5-on-4, 2 minutes. Cole O'Hara, Idar Sunyev, Kenny Connors, Ryan Lodback, and Lucas Mercury. Face off to the right of Benny Halaz. UMass wins this one back, scooped up by Idar Sunyev. He dishes it off for Kenny Connors. Connors, a lot of time at that far point, gets it back from Sunyev. Strange pass, chips its way to Kenny Connors, but UMass is able to control it. Here's O'Hara, tries to shimmy it out in front. Lucas Mercury on the doorstep, wraparound try is in! Cole O'Hara strikes. That's 11 straight, and UMass ties this one up. It's 2-2 on the power play.
The point streak continues. Cole O'Hara, a power play goal, and the Minutemen just did not give up. They hit the post on that try there. It got back to the stick of Cole O'Hara. He wrapped it around the net, and just like that, this game is knotted back up.
John, it all started with that strange cross-ice pass from Sunyev to Connors. That sent the UMass Lowell defense reeling for a moment. And I thought for a second we were going to have a challenge. But we are not going to. The goal should stand. It's 2-2 here with 10:47 left. The linesmen are on the ice. The fans are not happy. You see this older gentleman in front of us, John, giving the refs an earful, but a massive goal from Cole, the goal, O'Hara. Fans certainly on their feet. 10:35 left here in the third. The UMass Lowell pass goes for an icing. That was Cole O'Hara's 19th of the season. That's his 46th point. And right now, only one other college hockey game going on. To my knowledge, if I had to guess, that will put him in the lead. The nation's points.
It was O'Hara out front to Mercury. He hit the bar, got it back to O'Hara, wrapped it around and in as we see the replay here on the Mullins Center Jumbotron. Cole O'Hara's 30th goal of his career.
Now we play on. Puck in the neutral zone. UMass Lowell will shake it forward. Francesco Delelche back for it. He gets turned around, but headmans it up the ice. Here's Idar Sunyev curling and purling his way in. Drop pass now, Larry Keenan out in front. Larry Keenan's shot deflects off Sunyev and into the netting. And now Sunyev just got tossed down.
You gonna call that embellishment?
Sunyev just a few moments ago did go off for embellishment, if you're just tuning in with us. That brought out a 4-on-4. Both teams killed that off. Then UMass went on to the power play, and just a few seconds in, O'Hara struck. And now we are in the third period. 10:06 left here in the third. It's Kenny Connors in his third line on with Ryan Lonback and Cam O'Neill. One-time try from Olvestad goes past the far side. Scout Truman trying to find the puck, but that slides all the way down for an icing.
Jacob, before the period started, you asked me who's a player that I'd like to see step up in this third and final period. And I specifically said most guys would, pick Cole O'Hara or Idar Sunyev, and I went with Kenny Connors, but I wish I could take it all back. I mean, O'Hara, he is the guy this season. He has made that very clear, and that's why he leads the entire league in points.
John, you might have to apologize to him about that. As UMass Lowell was searching for an opportunity on the doorstep. Puck jumped over a couple of Riverhawk sticks, and now it's taken away by Kenny Connors. His backhand pass gets disrupted for a moment.
I'll throw in a couple extra Hobie Baker votes for him.
There you go. They certainly dole those out to the student press a lot, don't they? They're totally easy to come by. This is sarcasm, of course. Puck slides down below the goal line. Francesco Delelche picks it up from his buddy Michael Robble. Now Jack Musa skating very quickly up the far side, getting hounded by Ian Carpentier. Musa gets back to the puck, backhands it back up top, now back down low from Delelche. Puck loose for a moment as Cole O'Hara had his eyes on it. 9:05 left here in the third period. If you're just joining us, John Ruggiero, Jacob Repper, 2-2 hockey here in the Mullins Center. Delelche, such a fantastic skater, but his pass goes for an offsides as he was trying to find Larry Keenan a little too late. That said, we are going to send it to break. We'll be right back on the home fort for Minuteman Sports, 91.1 WMUA. Welcome back to 91.1 WMUA. John Ruggiero, Jacob Repper. 8:55 left here in the third period. Crowd is starting to percolate, as is UMass's offense. Just a few moments ago, Cole O'Hara on the power play now makes himself the nation's points leader in all of NCAA D1 college hockey with 46 points on the year. The Nashville Predators draft pick just a few years ago in 2022. UMass looking to answer back. It's Idar Sunyev in the offensive zone. Curls off of Owen Cole. His shot gets blocked down by Cole, but Suniev still has it on his backhand. Cycles it back up top to Owen Murray, looking for a shooting late. Blocker down, and it's cleared out by the Riverhawks. Murray gets ridden to the boards. It's taken away by Mirko Buttazzoni. But Donzlish Mills is there to steal it for the Minutemen. Owen Murray trickles it into the offensive zone. 4 players go for a change. Donzlish Mills, the lone player on. Here's Lund back in the far circle. He peels to the outside, but passes it back down low to Lush Mills. Lush Mills trying to lower the shoulder and drive inside, but a nice play by the Swede, Isaac Johnson, to keep him from doing so. Ryan Londenbach getting worked on by 2 Riverhawks. He spills it back down low the goal line. Chris Delaney tries to swat at it, kept at the blue line by Londenbach. Cross-ice pass to Lelche, possibly intentionally hits it off the end boards, and it comes back up top to Keenan. Keenan banks it to the middle for Ryan Londenbach. Now Kenny Connors with a lot of speed at 12 o'clock. That shot doesn't get through. Rebound past the far side of the post. It's all Minutemen so far here. 7:30 in the third period, tied up 2-2. Keenan trying to peel off of the 5'6" Chris Delaney. That's Larry Keenan, Detroit Red Wings, 6'3". Coach Carville talked about him putting on some weight, but he has some incredible edges. Here's O'Hara on the backhand, but loses the handle. John, that could have been magic.
Nothing short of it. My goodness, just all over the place, finding his way through the maze that is this Riverhawks defense. And I think it just barely slid off his stick as he finally deked his way into the middle of the slot here. Around 1, around 2, right in front of Halas, just wasn't able to get the backhander up and in.
I like that, John. Maze, the first time you've used that?
I think so.
Well done.
Thank you.
If we relate it to winter, it looks like me trying to drive out of the snowy parking lots up here. I bet just pushed someone out the other day.
Or your driveway.
You're lucky I'm a good sport about that. My driveway over, I'm not going to say the location actually, let me hold on, but my driveway just a few weeks ago saw me crash into it. We'll put it that way. $500 later, and we are here in the Mullen Center. 7:05 left here, 2-2 hockey. Hockey East, rivalry between these two teams in the Kennedy Cup. Puck into UMass Lowell's offensive zone. It hops on its edge. And Jack Musa gets pushed down. I'm surprised that's not a penalty call there.
I mean, he did have the puck, or I don't know, maybe a little bit out in front of him. Could have been interference. Could have been maybe a hold. Not sure.
Maybe a ticky-tack call, and linesman elect not to. 6:35 left here. Here's Cole O'Hara. Scored just a few moments ago to knot this one up. Gets pushed off the puck. TJ Schweigar there. Kicks it to himself. Gets hounded by Lucas Mercury, who skates off, so both teams will get some respite and regroup with 6:20 left here in the third. Pass to the near side. Here comes Lowell charging up the ice. Libor Medic weaving into the offensive zone. Gets pressured by, I believe that was Daniel Jenchko. And a good play by him, the freshman European. Here's Lush Millis, tries to pass it out in front. Hits the skate of Larry Keenan. Into the near corner it goes. Back up top to Keenan. Keenan, he's got options. Passes it to the far side for Del Elche. Stutter step now finds Lush Millis. Long drive into the midsection of Halas.
I think Suniev might have got a piece of that one right in front. Halas smothered it for the whistle.
We're going to send it on down ringside. We've got our reporters. They've got a quick little update for us. Take it away, ladies.
I mean, the energy in the Mullen Center is intense right now. This game is incredible. We just had Cole O'Hara tie the game, meaning he's now leading the nation in points. We have fans yelling at refs. There's been multiple little fights in front of the net. UMass definitely has the momentum right now, but now let's see which UMass team can prove they are the better UMass. Back to you guys.
We certainly will. Thank you very much, Julia Williams. We're going to send it to break just for probably a minute, and we'll be right back. You're listening to Home Fort for Minutemen Sports, 91.1 WMUA. Doesn't get much better than this. Late February. After this, just 3 games left. Now just 5:49 left on the clock. UMass 2, UMass Lowell 2. John, what's there left to do?
For the Minutemen, it's put the puck in the back of the net. It is all UMass Minutemen right now. I mean, Lowell is just reeling in their own zone. But for the Minutemen, you can't get too overzealous because that'll allow Lowell to come right back the other way and put one past Rabble, especially on an odd man rush. Have to keep it in the Lowell zone, keep things clean.
Face off to the left of Benazzi. UMass wins this one. Benny Halaz, excuse me. 5:40 left here in the third. As Halaz turned that one aside, but UMass gets the offensive zone for a moment. And onto the tape of Lucas Mercury. Mercury near circle. Gets walled off to the outside. Schweigard's there for it. Now Owen Cole. Cole reverses to the near side. Skating after it is Mercury. Reverse hit, and a forceful one from Mercury as he sends Meehan to the ice. Now it's Cole O'Hara on the backhand. Getting walled off by Cole. Spin around try. Doesn't get through. Lowell bats it out, and that puck dances all the way down below the goal line. 5:07 left. It will be an icing.
Yeah, this is big for the Minutemen right here. They will keep Lowell from changing players, and UMass will send out the Kenny Connors line, and a prime opportunity. Oh, well, erase all that.
UMass Lowell calls a timeout.
I think that's a good one.
Could be a smart one. Face off to the right of Benny Halaz. 5:05 left. UMass has put on 10 shots in this third period, John. You're very critical of them in the second, but they poured it on here.
Yeah, we'll have to ask Coach Carville after the game, what he thought between the 2 periods. Obviously, the second, not where the Minutemen wanted to be. Gained a little bit of momentum towards the end of the second period, but then coming into the third, it's been a complete, turning on of the Jets, and took a penalty, unsuccessful on your own power play as well. Or no, excuse me, you were successful in courtesy Cole O'Hara, and that is the difference here. So, I mean, there's only 5:05 left to go in this game. I mean, it's heading towards extra time here. I don't think either team wants that, Jacob.
No, I think that's the reason their head coach, Norm Bazin, did call the timeout. These are 2 veteran coaching staffs. Bazin been on the UMass Lowell bench 14 years. Coach Carville, 9 seasons as well. We've talked about the history that could be made here tonight. And John, just a few weeks ago, he told us in media that he was worried, and he's worried all the time about his nightmares. And he wakes up in the morning thinking he took a job in the NHL, and thankful he did not. That speaks to the loyalty he has for this program. 5 minutes left here in the third period. Face off to the right of Halaz. UMass wins the face off. They gain control. Here's Del Elche out in front off the glove. It trickles to the near corner boards. 2 players scrambling forward for the Minutemen. Comes onto the tape of Scout Truman, but Larry Keenan's there to joust it into the O-zone. But it takes a strange hop and goes into the neutral zone. The Minutemen will shoot it in. 4:35 left in the third. Larry Keenan has his paws on it. Tries to reverse it with the backhand. Donzla Schmilla skating after it. UMass Lowell goes D to D, and they'll cycle the puck. They'll wrap it in deep. Michael Robble will come out of his crease, plays it with the forehand over to Del Elche, who gets lit up in the far corner by Libor Nemec. Cam O'Neill will flutter it in deep. UMass will go for a full change. 4:05 left here in the third. 2-2 hockey. The Riverhawks send it across the far side for the oncoming Chris Delaney. Tries to weave it out in front, but he can't find the trailer. Sliding over is Daniel Yenchko. Lowell goes D to D. There's a long try right into the glove of Michael Robble.
No rebound. That's been a struggling thing for Michael Robble, giving up rebounds right in front of the slot there, especially from shots from the point, but he tracked that one the whole way and gloved it for the whistle.
So much on the line here in the Mullen Center. 3 points up for grabs between these intrastate rivals. If you're tuning in to 91.1, John Ruggiero, Jacob Rebber, don't go anywhere. And I mean don't. Final 3:52 in the Mullen Center. Face off to the left of Robble. UMass wins it back. They'll slap it around to the near side for Ryan Lundback. Now Idar Sunyev, the Russian rocket, parks himself, cross-ice pass, hits a skate, and the Riverhawks look to turn this one up the ice. Sunyev back checking, will it be enough? The drop pass and a great defensive play to lift the stick from Ryan Lundback.
What a back check there.
Here's Owen Murray, gliding his way up the ice like a skier on the slopes. Now he'll retreat below Michael Robel. 3:20 left here in the third period. He'll wait for his players to regroup. Cole O'Hara searching for the puck, trying to strip it from Mirko Budanose. UMass Lowell will flutter it all the way down, and that hit a Lowell player, so it will not be an icing. 3 minutes left here in the third. Del Elche passes it up into the neutral zone. UMass flips it to the left of Benny Halaz. Into the near corner it goes. Larry Keenan comes gliding down. Lucas Mercury searching for it. Round it goes to DJ Swigard. Swigard tries to clear it out. He does successfully, but Larry Keenan's there on the back check to disrupt a possible breakaway attempt for UMass Lowell. Owen Cole loses a gasket. He'll clear it in deep and go for a change, as the fans were certainly happy to see him drop. 2:30 left here in the third period. Still a 2-2 game. Incoming is Libor Nemec. Takes a hit below the goal line. Michael Robel on his left post. Puck pops up to the point. Robel, save, doesn't know where it is, but he gets the whistle nonetheless.
Another one, no rebound there for Michael Robel. Good stuff out of the sophomore. I mean, look at the shots, 29 for UMass, the Minutemen, and 18 for the Riverhawks. I mean, the Minutemen slowing down a little bit here towards the end of this third period. Need one more push to get them over the edge. Lowell trying to come back into this one as well.
Cole O'Hara, 4 game-winning goals. That leads the Minutemen. He's got the game-tying one. If UMass wins this one, who will it be? 2:05 left here in the third period. It's taken away by Pearson Brandon. One of 3 captains, a leader on this team, leads the team in block shots. Bruins prospect Donzla Schmilitz gets ridden into the boards. UMass Lowell trying to stretch the play. It's Jack Varwerk below the goal line. He gets to it first. Trailer pass. Michael Robel doesn't see it. I don't even think it got fully through to him. And it's skated out by Sunyev.
Yeah, Budanose there just kind of fanned on the one-time attempt after the pass from Varwerk, and I think a Minuteman defender got in front of that one, just barely right in front of Robel.
Long pass. UMass Lowell searching for a couple of odd man rushes, which has been few and far between. And that puck skies its way into a couple of fans with 1:25 left here in the third.
The Minutemen hanging on here. Late in the third period, 1:25 to go, as you said, Jacob. Cannot allow a late goal. And I don't want to say both teams are content to go to overtime at this point, but it's the Minutemen are losing their momentum here.
Face off to the right of Robel. UMass wins it back. O'Neal skates quickly out of the zone upon the face-off, and that could burn him here. Here come the Riverhawks. 1:15 left here in the third. Let's do it. Near side, Ben Meehan. Shot isn't there as Kenny Connor slides down to block it courageously. Meehan passes it back up top to the point. Now near circle try. One-timer saved by Robel. And the net comes off. That's a massive one if UMass comes back to win this.
Unreal. Robel from his left to his right. Saves the game with a minute to go.
As my good friend and colleague, former colleague Andrew Sood likes to say, file that one away if UMass comes back to win this. And John, I think we will have a Coach Carvel timeout, as you hear the PA announcer call it. With that said, we're going to step aside just for a moment. We'll be back in about 30 seconds. 2-2, don't go away. Final 61 seconds here in Amherst on the home fort for Minuteman Sports. 61 seconds left here in the Mullen Center. A critical game between UMass and UMass Lowell. Who's the big brother? Who's the little brother? We'll find out here on 91.1 WMUA. Face off to the right of Ruggiero. UMass wins it. Ryan Lundback looking to send his way up the ice. He goes down to the ice, clutching his knee. There's no call, and Lundback is going to limp his way to the bench like an injured gazelle. As Scout Truman skates up the ice, 45 seconds left here. Truman weaves it in deep, banks it off the end boards. Kenny Connors skating after it. He goes back down low. 35 seconds left here on the Mullen Center. Connors, head up, a lot of ice in front of him. He'll shovel it in deep. UMass will go for a full change. 25 seconds left here, John.
If I didn't know any better, I'd just say that Ryan Lodback just blew out his knee. Obviously not sure, but man, he is still down on the UMass bench.
Puck goes into the UMass Lowell bench, so it will be a neutral zone face-off, and that's obviously the biggest concern. You see him third from right there, John.
Yep.
Looks to be clutching, I believe, his left knee.
He had to crawl to the bench.
As athletic trainer Mark Paquette is over his left shoulder, looking over him. 15 left here in the third period. Stay with us on 91.1 WMUA. UMass Lowell flutters it into the defensive zone for the Minutemen. Now UMass tries to turn it up the ice. Jack Musa tries to get one final opportunity. That's going to do it for regulation time here in the Mullen Center. UMass Lowell 2, UMass Minutemen 2. Who will cash in? John, any final thoughts before we voyage into overtime?
I mean, a successful bettor would have predicted overtime for this one. Last two matchups last year, both Ryan Ufco's overtime winners. We'll have to see if there's some Ufco magic in the next 5 minutes.
We're going to send it on down to Julia Williams real quick for any final thoughts ringside.
I mean, what's not to love about a Hockey East matchup heading into overtime? This game has been a physical, fast-paced game. Both teams are putting their all out there. It's going to be an incredible ending to see which UMass is better, like we said before. But right in the last minute, we saw Lautenbach go down with what looked like an ankle injury. So hopefully he's okay, but let's see how overtime goes. Back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Julia. Karen Snow, Shannon Clark down there ringside, Zeke Altman and crew back in the studio, John Ruggiero, Jacob Repper, of course, up here at Press Row in the Mullen Center. John, you talked about betting. We don't do that here, of course, but if you had to give me one pick from both teams to be the hero, who is your Superman?
I mean, I went and betted against Cole O'Hara once. I'm not going to do it again. Look for him to get his 20th goal of the season. As for the Riverhawks, and there's a couple options here. Let's go with Jack Varwerk. 5 goals, 10 assists, 15 points on the year would be his 11th goal of his career. The sophomore from Clarence, New York. He has been in the mix tonight on that second line.
UMass getting set. The Riverhawks crowded around their bench. The Riverhawks, of course, in their away blue jerseys, red trim along with white trim, blue helmets, and the Minutemen in their home whites, maroon helmets, maroon and gray trim. As we get set for the final minutes of overtime.
Good news is that Ryan Lautenbach was testing out his lower leg injury, did take a bit of a skate on the ice. He now sits on the bench, not back to the dressing room or anything, so looks like he'll tough it out.
Minutemen going from right to left, the Riverhawks left to right. Michael Robel in goal for the Minutemen, Benny Halaz for the Riverhawks. Del Elche, Jack Musa, Cole O'Hara on for the Minutemen. And Jack Musa wins this one back, but Del Elche crept up to the line there, and he'll have to retreat for it in his own zone.
At the last second, he moved exactly from where the puck went.
Awful timing. But speaking of timing, no better time here in Amherst. Cole O'Hara chasing after it on the forecheck. He gains the offensive zone, peels back up top to the point. So much of overtime, John, is puck possession, and we'll see how both these two teams manage it here. Over 30 seconds in, it's Cole O'Hara, drop pass for the incoming Francesco Del Elche, who peels back up top to the point and drops it softly off for Cole O'Hara. O'Hara Gets turned around in the process. Jack Musa's there to help him out. Musa passes it to the near side for Del Elche. Gives it to the oncoming Idar Sunyev, fresh off the bench. Sunyev, stutter step, makes a man miss, drops to the near side. Sunyev, cross-ice pass into the skates of Del Elche, but the Minutemen still have it. It's Don Zleshmelis, reverses on the backhand, has a little bit of room, drop pass for Idar Sunyev. Sunyev, stutter step to the outside, now keeps going, tries to weave it back out in front, but no, Minuteman is there. Michael Robel comes out of his crease to play it over 1:10 here into overtime.
The Riverhawks were just quaking in their boots in their own zone there. You had Cole O'Hara all over the ice, Idar Sunyev, the two most dangerous Minutemen on the ice. Just nothing to show for it.
Here's Don Zleshmelis. Delicate drop past Idar Sunyev. A lot of room. Sunyev tries to snipe it and end it. But a great save by Benny Halaz. Larry Keenan goes down in the process. Fans want to call, and the Riverhawks come surging the other way, but it's taken away by Larry Keenan. Looking to headman, Don Zleshmelis hits a 2-on-2 the other way. Cross-ice pass, tip out in front, saved by Halaz.
Wow.
Chaos out in front, and it's taken away by Scout Truman the other way, 1-on-1. Truman, shot saved by Robel. He's going to play it as UMass looks to stretch it the other way, but they whistle it down.
My goodness.
They whistle it down, and fans are not happy.
Wow. I mean, clearly he had full intent to play that off. He stood up, ran away, put it to his stick, and played it to Kenny Connors up ice. You can't blow it dead there. But on the other end, Larry Keenan was absolutely denied by Benny Halaz. Got the tip on, beautiful shoulder save, saving the game for the Riverhawks.
Face off to the right of Michael Robel. Daniel Yenchko, the freshman, getting centered by Kenny Connors, and on defense, the captain, Lyndon Alger. We spoke to him earlier this week. He was a little bit emotional about what this final ride will be like for him. Here's Kenny Connors, curling below the goal line, over 2 minutes into overtime here. Drop pass for Daniel Yenchko, curling and weaving his way through the neutral zone, 3-on-3 in overtime. Yenchko drives below the goal line, curls back up top to the point, drop pass now for Kenny Connors. Connors on the forehand, gets shaken up for a moment, and it's stolen away by the Riverhawks. Here comes Ian Carpentier. It's a 2-on-1 the other way. Carpentier, head save by Robel. Carpentier passes it back up top, the point for Stefan Owens, gets it right back to Carpentier at the Hockey East logo. Going 1-on-3 against the Minutemen, he'll curl back to the neutral zone for some refuge with 2:15 left here in overtime. UMass 2, UMass Lowell 2. How will this one end? Carpentier, drop pass, no one's there, and both teams will go for a partial change as Halaz comes out to play it. Halaz, long stretch saucer pass to the near side for Mirko Budanozzi. Here he comes, near circle, and he's kept to the outside by the Denver transfer, Lucas Olvestad. Drops it off to the far side for Ben Meehan on his backhand. Near circle, try glove save by Robel. Rebound, the wraparound try, Smalling is Robel, and it goes wide of the cage. Both players battling for it as it slides down below the goal line. It's Libor Nemec on the backhand, tries to stuff it past Robel into the skates of Lucas Olvestad, who's fumbling for the puck. But he taps it ahead to Jack Musa. Musa, it's Sunyev. Musa, backhand, try to the middle. Musa just goes wide on the wrist shot. And around it goes to the neutral zone. 1:15 left here in overtime. It's the goal scorer, Cole O'Hara. Leading the nation in points, drops it off now for Zleshmelis. His shot goes into the near corner boards. Zleshmelis chasing after it. UMass Lowell fences it behind their own goal line, and it's scooped up by the Mass native, Chris Delaney. Delaney hides behind his goaltender with 55 seconds left. It's Don Zleshmelis, Larry Keenan, and Idar Sunyev. UMass Lowell looking to start up the ice. Peeling off of Sunyev is a couple UMass Lowell players. Now it's Chris Delaney. He has the puck, goes back down low to TJ Schweigart. Gives it back to Delaney. He's got his head up, back up top to Schweigart. Schweigart, number 4 in blue for UMass Lowell, and he'll curl outside into the neutral zone. 30 seconds left here in overtime. Here's Delaney in with speed on the forehand. Drop pass Schweigart. Wrist shot doesn't get through past the left of Robel. Scooped up by Chris Delaney. 20 seconds left here in overtime. The drop pass to the defenseman Schweigart, and now threaded down low to Jack Varwerk. Varwerk getting hounded by 2 Minutemen in Zleshmelis and Sunyev. This is the long change for UMass. Keep an eye. 8 seconds left here. And a big hit from Lushmel's. Puck pops free. Here's Meehan on the doorstep. Pad save, Robble, 1 second left. That's going to do it in overtime.
Wow.
With 1 second left, Michael Robble denies Meehan to keep this 2-1 knotted at 2.
And Idar Suniev, who grabbed that rebound and would have had a breakaway up ice, looks to the skies and thinks, what if? But man, Crowell stood tall there. It was a wraparound try by Meehan denied, and then I believe it was Meehan again. Crowell kicked it out, and then it was just chaos there, as we'll send it ringside.
We'll send it on down ringside. Karen Snow's down there for us.
Okay, so overtime, still 2-2. I think we're going into a shootout, right? Shootout time. This game has been incredible. Michael Horabla just played an intense sequence, saves everything. Larry Keenan on the back end, great defense. I mean, UMass is playing incredible right now. See how this shootout can go. Back up to you guys.
Thank you very much. Excuse me, that was Julia Williams down ringside with Karen Snow. John, any final thoughts? This has been some game here.
You know, it'll go as a tie in the NCAA pairwise standings. So we'll have to see what that does to the rankings. But this is now for an extra Hockey East point, which both teams, I mean, every point counts. So UMass unsuccessful in their shootout last weekend against UNH. Lushmelis missed the net. O'Hara hit the post. Rabel made 2 of 3 saves. Need a goal here, at least one.
The Riverhawks deploy Dylan Bentley. He had the first goal of the game for UMass Lowell. He starts in right to left. Robble way out his crease. Dylan, backhand, forehand, saved by Robble. Tried to get it to go five hole with one hand, and Robble stood tall.
They tried the little shove play through the wickets. Rabel closed the door.
Here comes your Hobie Baker candidate. Tied the game late in the third. What can he do? Cole O'Hara left to right. Halai's out in his crease. O'Hara on the far side, trickling his way in. O'Hara shoots, he scores! Cole the goal. O'Hara catches in the shootout and electrifies this UMass crowd.
No post, no problem this week. The goal UMass was missing last time out. They get it this time. Can Rabel stand his ground?
Here's Owen Cole, right to left. Robble crouched, now comes out of his crease. Cole weaving in like a snake, taking his time. Robble ready, Cole ready, wrist shot. He gets that one through the pad of Robble.
Oh, Rabel caught a piece. I think it went in between his blocker and his right side of his body. Cole finds a hole to tie it at 1.
Left to right this time. Don's Lushmill coming in with speed on the near side. Lushmill is powering his way in, back and forehand, top shelf scores! The Boston Bruin Prospects delivers for the Minutemen. That's 2 goals here in the shootout.
Missed the net last week. Definitely did not miss this time. Now 2-1.
The Lowell Riverhawks send out Scout Truman, the goals leader with 9 on the season. Here comes Truman, delicately picks the puck up. Robble out of his crease, forehand, backhand, forehand, tries to get it over Robble, he can't. The Minutemen win. Robble kicks the puck to the sky as UMass shoot down the Lowell Riverhawks here in Amherst. They pick up the extra Hockey East point. And John, what a fun one this has been.
Sure was. I mean, you always want to see these games end in regulation, especially for hockey's points purposes. But UMass does what they need to do this time around, get the extra point, and it will go down as a tie, but UMass on their way to scoring the majority of the points this weekend.
Some guy in the student section is shirtless, John. Can you believe that? What a fun one this has been. UMass was down early. UMass Lowell struck first, 1-0. They clawed their way back. They were down going into the third, and Cole O'Hara gets the job done. We'll send it on down ringside for one final word from our reporters.
I mean, what a game. That was absolutely unbelievable from start to finish. The physicality, everything about it. We won in a shootout, and now that means UMass is officially bumped up to number 4. That is an absolute great thing. That was a great game. Nothing more that I can say. Back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Karen. We appreciate that. We will keep an eye on the Hockey East rankings. A regulation win would have sent UMass to 4. It depends what we see this weekend. They still could get there. With that said, for Karen Snow, Julia Williams, Zeke Goldman back in the studio, my partner John Ruggiero, I've been Jacob Repper. John, any final thoughts?
I mean, you got a day off tomorrow. You can't have any more second periods like the one you had today if you're the Minutemen, Jacob. I mean, not to harp on the negatives, but that's something that Coach Carville will, I think, talk about in tomorrow's practice as they head east to Lowell. Gonna play the full 60 minutes, and that's the reason this game's tied tonight. If UMass has a full 60-minute effort, this game is probably won in regulation, but the Minutemen come back in the third to tie it, and they go ahead in the shootout to win it, to grab the extra Hockey East point, and now can win the weekend should they get at least 2 on Saturday.
That has been all for us here in Amherst, Massachusetts. Of course, as always, we appreciate you tuning in to the home fort for Minutemen Sports. UMass takes the shootout victory 3-2 here in Amherst. Good night, everyone.